We're just going to do a quick live. We're going to talk about what's going on. Cassie and her husband Alex made a statement. We're going to go over that. Like the video as you guys come in. Let me do a few things on my side. Um, but I hope everyone's doing well. We had a great live yesterday morning. A lot of people tuned in. A lot of people subscribed. I appreciate you all. You all are amazing. We did hit 36K. So I appreciate you guys. Like I said, 9 months ago, we had um, three to 4,000 subscribers. So we're definitely growing. We're getting into the get to and down to everything we need to get into. But I did do a short yesterday in regards to Cassie and her husband making their statement. I'm go ahead and do my disclaimer, so just give me a minute. I'm go ahead and do my disclaimer. Okay. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is? Okay, so let's see. Come on in. Come on in, everyone. Okay, so come on in, like the video, Thanks for being here, everyone. We're going to just do a quick live. We're not going to do too much of a deep dive. We understand a lot has happened in regards to Cassie Diddy. We understand that the relationship seemed extremely toxic. We're going to get into the statement from her and her husband. Her husband said, Cassie saves Cassie. But young man, we understand when a woman gets out of a toxic relationship and she has peace with another man, you helped Cassie. Real talk. Because what she was into and what she was in, she's not into that now. It looks like Cassie has peace. She has a husband, she has children. She looks like she has peace. So we can't confirm or deny how that relationship is going, but we see she looked like she's a lot better. And if you guys did not know, it's being reported that Diddy kept contacting Cassie after her and Alex started dating. Yes, messages. You're going to be a great mom. I miss you. Sometimes Cassie would respond, sometimes she wouldn't. And we get it. Now, would I have been so kind if that person did all those things to me? I don't think so. I'm surprised she didn't go in on him in a lot of messages. And maybe they didn't want to show those other types of messages. Have y'all ever had a man or a boyfriend and y'all in a relationship? He do things, say things. You're very descriptive in your messages of your frustration or your anger. So it's very surprising that they only want to show the messages where Cassie's like, miss you, want to see you. When are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? It seems like that was the only messages they want. And some were, no, I'm not interested. Now, this is one message I will say though. Remember how they said she wants to have a FO and they had her read it? So she read it. But then they said read the rest. And the rest was kind of different than the beginning. So that they tripped a lot of people up in regards to some of her messages, and then how it was like, yes, I want to do this for a long time. But then the other lawyer or defense or whatever had her read the rest of it, and she's like, no, I'm not interested anymore. That was then, this is now. You know what I'm saying? And then they tried to trip her up in regards to, oh, you were happy he sent you that message, it made you feel away. She said, that's the message I had been seeking then. But Cassie's married. I don't know how Cassie's husband was able to maintain and not get upset, not stand up, not clap his hands, not be like, this is too much. Cassie's husband did a great job in court. And sometimes they said he would get red, but he doesn't like when people say he saved her. He said Cassie saved Cassie. You know, she's a beautiful woman. She lights up a room. So we're definitely going to get to the clip. We're just updating of what transpired. She testified, she was cross-examined, and then the a young lady came in. Remember how Diddy got arrested the day before he was supposed to go in and turn himself in? There's a young lady that took the stand yesterday, and she was talking about what was in that room. So let's get to this clip in regards to um, their statement.
This week has been extremely challenging, but also remarkably empowering and healing for me.
Good morning, good morning.
I hope that my testimony has given strength and a voice to other survivors and can help others who have suffered to speak up and also heal from abuse and fear. For me, the more I heal, the more I can remember. And the more I can remember, the more I will never forget. I want to thank my family and my advocates for their unwavering support, and I'm grateful for all the kindness and encouragement that I have received. I'm glad to put this chapter of my life to rest. As I turn to focus on the conclusion of my pregnancy, I ask for privacy for me and for my growing family. This week has been extremely challenging.
Next clip.
Over the past 5 days, the world has gotten to witness the strength and bravery of my wife freeing herself of her past. There has been speculation online surrounding how it must feel for me to sit there and listen to my wife's testimony. I have felt so many things sitting there. I have felt tremendous pride and overwhelming love for Cass. I have felt profound anger that she has been subjected to sitting in front of a person who tried to break her. So, to him and all of those who helped him along the way, please know this: you did not. You did not break her spirit nor her smile that lights up every room. You did not break the souls of a mother who gives the best hugs and plays the silliest games with our little girls.
Good morning, good morning.
You did not break the woman who has made me a better man. I did not save Cassie, as some have said. To say that is an... Over the past 5 days, the world has gotten to witness the strength and bravery of my wife freeing herself of her past. There has been speculation online surrounding how it must feel for me to sit there and listen to my wife. I did not save Cassie, as some have said. To say that is an insult to the years of painful work my wife has done to save herself. Cassie saved Cassie. She alone broke free from abuse, coercion, violence, and threats. She did the work of fighting the demons that only a demon himself could have done to her. All I have done is love her as she has loved me. Her life is now surrounded by love, laughter, and our family. This horrific chapter is forever put behind us, and we will not be making additional statements. We appreciate all of the love and support we have received, and we ask that you respect our privacy as we welcome our son into a world that is now safer because of his mom. I did not save Cassie, as some have said.
So Cassie's husband feels that he did not save her. Some will feel different. She was in a very toxic, volatile relationship, and it was filled with substances and different things. Like I said before, he wanted to make sure Cassie was craving him and other people. He did not want her to date other people. Now, towards the end, Cassie broke it off with Diddy because she was dating Alex. And she was, at first, Diddy didn't know Cassie was dating Alex. At first, he did not know. Let me see if I can find another picture. Hello, hello, good morning, good morning. We'll leave it here. At first, Diddy didn't know, and then he found out. And it's interesting how it seems as if he was kind of possibly cool with it. But not really, because allegedly they were stating that he took it. Y'all know what I'm saying. Alleged, fair use, reaction, and trigger warning for some. But yeah, it's basically saying that he alleged took. And many people were like, well, in the messages, it seemed like she was okay talking with Diddy. So the time frame of when that happened, they're not certain of. Did it happen this month, October or September? So we're clarifying that. they're not certain when Cassie and Diddy's situation in regards to take advantage of. They're not certain if it's October or September. Let me make that clear. It's sad that they went through this, and it's even sadder that at the first few days the daughters were there. The sons are still in court. I don't know if the mom has been in court the last few days, but the sons have been in court. So when they talked about the investigator, the photographer that came into his room that took the pictures, it looks as if he was ready to take on and deal with another FO. We don't know who the young lady was going to be. We don't know who was going to be in that room with him, but they had stated that the room was set up for another FO. And you understand what that word is. I have to watch what I say. But yeah, um, the room had, like Cassie has mentioned, the room had everything that Cassie mentioned. The baby oil, several bottles of baby oil when you walk in the room, several baby oil in the tub that was warming up. Um, the room was set up with cameras. Um, there was a fanny pack of money if the person, did what they were supposed to do. That was at the door. So the room was set up for things. So I think they wanted to make that clear in regards to what Diddy's intentions are, even outside Cassie. And then let me make this clear: the room was set up the day he got arrested, or the day several days before. However, when they arrested Diddy, and that's why he's in jail now. When they arrested him, the room was set up for FO. So he was doing FOs outside of Cassie. Do you understand that? So I need to make that clear. He was doing FOs outside of Cassie. So it wasn't just Cassie. So we don't know who he was doing FOs with. So when Dawn comes in, so you got the person that took the pictures of him being arrested, what was in the room, $9,000, whatever, at the door. Some people are saying they shouldn't have took that money because they are able to take money that's over 10,000, not 9,000. So you'd have to deal with the law page regarding that. I kind of debunked stuff. Okay, so they confiscated the $9,000. I think they had the fanny pack and the $9,000 in court. Interesting, and I'm sure they showed the pictures of what was in the room. Baby oil, 5 bottles of baby oil, getting warm in the bathtub. So Dawn takes the stand and she has things to say about what she noticed. But the attorneys weren't happy that Cassie never really talked about Dawn. Well, I'm sure Cassie said, I'm sure she did. Other people would witness things that were being done to me, I would imagine. So it's interesting how they were saying that the attorneys were going back and forth regarding that. And if I was a judge, I would be like, she said that other people would see certain things that would happen to her. So if they're going to do that with Dawn, they might do that with other people that's going to testify. Now, baby, it's being reported allegedly Cassie mother might testify, y'all. Cassie mother might testify. Let me show y'all. Let's go through some clips. This is Cassie Diddy. He spoke recently in jail. He's talking about the Tory Lanez situation. Dawn testified, but allegedly they weren't excited about what she said because Dawn had said, she noticed. Wait, let's go back. Cassie was allegedly cooking Diddy breakfast, okay? And he was kind of like, where's breakfast? Where's my breakfast? Dawn had said she had noticed and witnessed Diddy becoming verbally and physically, trigger warning, verbally and physically with Cassie. And Cassie was dodging being hit by alleged pan. But I guess they were saying Dawn had said she might have been, but then it said that she was on the floor cradled. I think Dawn should have said he was acting like he was about to hit. Okay. So I guess there was a little confusion of how she said, I thought he was going to, it looked like, but here nor there, they didn't like how Dawn said that. But then they also didn't like that Cassie didn't mention Dawn. Why should Cassie mention everybody that's been around her and Diddy? Cassie shouldn't have to mention, because Cassie and Diddy had several parties. So is Cassie supposed to mention everybody at the party? No, she's not going to be able to mention. So for them to act like Cassie not mentioning Dawn is a problem. I told y'all, watch the play in regards to court. Watch the play and watch how they treat people that testify, the cross-examine. I said this yesterday. Watch how things are treated and the situationships that's going to happen. Cassie should not have to mention everybody she was around, and if a situation transpired, she shouldn't have to. But they made it very interesting that they might not have liked Dawn's testimony yesterday. I told y'all, watch the play. I told y'all yesterday morning, watch the play. And I did not think 4 to 5 hours later, they would not want to or keep in court Dawn's testimony because of how she said things. And you got to realize, people are going to be nervous. They're going to be nervous of speaking. They're going to be nervous of answering the question. And if they don't understand something, they have to say, can you ask me that question again? Can you rephrase it a different way? I was hoping they would prepare Dawn better. Dawn didn't stay in there long. She was on the stand, I don't know how long, so don't quote me. Dawn didn't stay on the stand for very long. So it was Cassie in the morning, the person that took the pictures, and then it was Dawn. Okay? So, well wishes to Cassie, for real. This is a whole situation. Women, don't be in a situation where a man is controlling. Diddy and Cassie, problematic. I'm not on either side. It was a problematic relationship, period. Like the video, you guys. Press 1 if you're watching from a phone. If you're watching from a phone, all it takes is a double tapping of the screen to hit the like button. Hit the like button and subscribe. There's about 439 in the building. Thank you for being here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So that's what happened in the morning. Cassie testified, the person that took the pictures, and then Dawn made her statements. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before, where you're watching from. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for being here. Okay, so that's what happened yesterday. And I had heard that the morning was kind of interesting, that they were a little unorganized. They were a little unorganized yesterday morning. And there were some things going on at court yesterday, too. Not certain if it's like an immigration situation. So certain people that's normally in the courtroom wasn't in the courtroom. They were in the overflow room. So there was a lot going on. And Diddy's side was not organized and saying, oh, I shouldn't have asked that. Tell the jury, don't retain that. Kind of strike that comment. So yesterday was very interesting. And if I know anything, if they weren't organized, Diddy was probably really upset yesterday morning. Now they state, not yesterday, the day before that, they said they were very organized in regards to cross-examine. Now yesterday they said that it was a little bit of a mess. After lunch it got a little bit better, but some of the papers got a little mixed up. So when they did good the day before, but the day after, I don't know how things would get mixed up, because you would imagine you would number the page, you would number the date of the message, you would have some kind of organization. I don't know how or why that stuff got messed up. And you got to realize, they're in court for a long time. Cassie was on the stand for a long time, pregnant. Here she is, married with somebody else's baby, and she got to sit there in court, talk about her ex. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. So they wanted to make sure, because remember, they were fussing 2 days before in regards to the cross-examine taking days. They didn't know if they'd be able to be done by Friday. Luckily, they were done with Cassie by Friday. And she does not have to come back Monday, which is a good thing. She's pregnant. She could literally go into labor this weekend. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Please hit the like button. If you're watching from a phone, press 1. Please hit the like button. We're at 19 likes. We got about 455 people in the building. Please hit the like, and thank you. Good morning. Good morning. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. We got 533, 633. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. I'm cooking. We're going to get to some clips in a minute, but I'm kind of letting you guys know what happened in the court, the pictures, what was in the room. They're stating, and Dawn's testimony. They seem not happy or satisfied. And If that happens to a lot of people, that's going to be concerning. If they're not organized on Diddy's side, that's going to be concerning. And you know how he is. They say he's kind of a perfectionist. How Cassie had to look, how her performances was go, but you figure he kept her busy with performances. He didn't keep her busy with music and releasing music. Now, baby, why this morning? I'm telling you, this morning, listen in. This morning, I wake up and there's a video of Cassie's party that Diddy's throwing Cassie. Yes. As soon as they showed somebody, and I'm going to be general, I don't know if I'll mention his name. They showed someone that we lost around the time we lost Kobe. So I'm not gonna really go into, but yeah, I saw a video in regards to Diddy throwing Cassie a birthday party. Now, when we listened to the court case, it was mentioned that he did a lot of things to her in regards to physical, which is concerning. She do something he didn't like, he was on it. And that's kind of what Dawn was saying. She was just making eggs. Why are you mad? She was just cooking you eggs. Why are you mad? And it's almost like allege. He would do things in front of other people. And that's the other thing he said in front of Dawn and the other people. You snitch, this could happen to you. So people were scared to step in and say, stop, Diddy. People were scared to call the police because he said this could happen to you, or you run your mouth too much, you go MIA. Baby. Yeah, that was said, alleged, in court. So that's why Dawn was scared to step in after she was physically, from after making eggs. It's like, why were you not happy about her making you the eggs? So I'm wondering if that's going to be an issue. Since Cassie didn't mention, that should be known. They're around several people. Different people would see different things and couldn't do anything about it in fear of stepping in and them getting, and that was the other thing, alleged. Dawn has said, if he treats his girlfriend like that, I'm not the girlfriend. I could get it worse. Baby, could you imagine seeing someone being physically, you know what I mean? Like the video. Press 3 if you know where you're watching from. Press 3 if you know where you're watching from. There's about 761 in the building. Can you please subscribe and turn on your notification? I've been bringing you guys TTT in regards to this Diddy situation. I do upload shorts as well, so you can sometimes watch my shorts. I keep you guys updated on general news and the Diddy stuff. But yeah, please subscribe. We did hit 36K. I would love to hit 37K by the end of the month. Oh, I'd like to hit 1 million. My page has so many views, and I need to start telling people to subscribe more. I do. Hello, Colorado. Good morning. I need to tell people to subscribe more. I do. I used to. Hello, Pittsburgh. I can see yours. You're right on top. It almost went away. But yeah, please subscribe. Yeah. So in regards to on Dawn, she did testify. So I'm not certain who's next, but Cassie's mother allegedly could testify. Hello, Arizona. Hello, Colorado. Hello, Chicago. Let me go into showing y'all that. Justin Team spoke out and said alleged he is not and haven't had situations with Diddy. But let me go in. They're talking about the case, but I don't know if I want to play their video. Hello, Indiana. This is Cassie hugging her husband. He had did a marathon, and this is Cassie, hugging her husband. Emotional 2019 video of Cassie wrapping in her husband Alex's arms resurfaced. And I think this is, like I said, this is being stated that he did a marathon. That's what that's from. He's talking about Tory, and allegedly there's different celebrities that's trying to surround themselves in trying to free Tory. So this is a picture of Diddy, Cassie. Let's see. She was cross-examined. That's basically what they're talking about. But you guys, they're stating, I'm going to show y'all where it says. They're basically saying, the prosecutors say Cassie's mother is expected to testify in the Diddy trial next week. You know how much stress that's going to be for Cassie? Knowing that her mother has to testify, but we get it. The mom should. But I could not imagine that's so much stress for Cassie. Now your mama got to get on the stand. So this is the biggest question, you guys. Will Cassie be there as her mom testifies? Is she going to be in the courthouse listening to her mom next to Alex? That's the big question. Or is she going to stay home and focus on her health and the well-being of the child? If Cassie mom testify, is Cassie mom going to be there? Is the daddy going to be there? Are the uncles going to be there? You know what I'm saying? Hello, Portland. Good morning, everyone. That is interesting. I had heard that Cassie's mom might testify, but now this is coming from Hollywood Unlocked, that the mom might be a witness. And remember, in the testimony, Cassie talked about having a physical situation with Diddy, and she went to her mom, and the mom saw the bruises. So in court, they tried to trip up Cassie and saying, well, how could you take the pictures of your body and how it became dark? I have to watch what I say. And it became darker after the physical issue. She had said that my mom had took the pictures, and I don't know if she had sent the pictures to herself. Now you got to realize Cassie had a lot of older phones, and they were able to retrieve certain things and certain messages. Sometimes Cassie couldn't remember certain messages because they were on substances, you guys. She gonna put it all out there. But you got to remember too. Remember how Cassie said she did not want to tell her mom what was going on. She wanted to tell her. So her mom's going to explain what she noticed, what she saw. So her mom was probably so relieved once Cassie left Diddy and started dating and got married to Alex. Could you imagine? And like I said before, some people are like, where's the mom? Where's the dad? Where's the family? With what we're hearing, it would have been concerning for people to step in. It would have been concerning for people to step in and stand up to him. And have y'all noticed that a lot of people, even when she had the issue of making the eggs and she had a situationship, not a lot of people are going to the hospital or getting police reports. Have y'all noticed that? He put fear in people that much that a lot of people weren't going to the hospital or getting police reports. Or people weren't calling the police. The one time I'm hearing that Cassie did call the police, or security called the police, when they were at that hotel. Did y'all hear that Cassie had a settlement in regards to Diddy, 20 million, and then she had a settlement with the hotel, 10 million. They told that towards, I think it was yesterday. Cassie told that she had settled with the hotel, I guess for not protecting her. She had a settlement with that hotel for 10 million, and she recently just got that. Cassie recently just got the 10 million in regards to the hotel and them not protecting her. Yeah. Or the video being released, or maybe because the guy took the video and sent it to his friends. But Cassie got a settlement. Yes, OMG, yes. Yeah, she got the 20 million from Diddy. She'd asked for 30, but she got the 20 million from Diddy, and then she had a settlement with the hotel for 10 million. Yes. Cassie didn't mention it. The attorneys asked her about that. If you have another court case kind of awaiting, or another court case, Cassie was like, oh, I settled that court case. Cassie just got that money this month. Cassie just got that other 10 million this month. Baby. Cassie is now hurting for money. But yeah, the whole situation, the whole relationship was toxic, period. Toxic. So if Cassie's mother does take the stand, I'm interested in knowing who will be in the courthouse with the mom. Who will be in the courthouse with the mom? It's so concerning. Cassie been through a lot. We're hearing other people have been through a lot. Okay, so was there another? I'm not going to show that ad. If you guys are just not coming in, this is the statement from Cassie and her husband. Let's play this again.
Challenging, but also remarkably empowering and healing for me. I hope that my testimony has given strength and a voice to other survivors and can help others who have suffered to speak up and also heal from abuse and fear. For me, the more I heal, the more I can remember. And the more I can remember, the more I will never forget. I'm glad to put this chapter of my life to rest. As I turn to focus on the conclusion of my pregnancy, I ask for privacy for me and for my growing family. And then I have a statement from Alex Fine. Over the past 5 days, the world has gotten to witness the strength and bravery of my wife, freeing herself of her past. There has been speculation online surrounding how it must feel for me to sit there and listen to my wife's testimony. I have felt so many things sitting there. I have felt tremendous pride and overwhelming love for Cass. I have felt profound anger that she has been subjected to sitting in front of a person who tried to break her.
Yeah. Okay. There's a longer video, so let me pull that up. Hold on. That video cut him off. I'm gonna bring y'all the full video. Hold on. Okay.
Challenging, but also remarkably empowering and healing for me. I hope that my testimony has given strength and a voice to other survivors and can help others who have suffered to speak up and also heal from abuse and fear. For me, the more I heal, the more I can remember. And the more I can remember, the more I will never forget.
I agree. Very good statements from both of them.
I want to thank my family and my advocates for their unwavering support, and I'm grateful for all the kindness and encouragement that I have received. I'm glad to put this chapter of my life to rest. As I turn to focus on the conclusion of my pregnancy, I ask for privacy for me and for my growing family. This week has been extremely challenging.
Next clip.
But also remarkable. Over the past 5 days, the world has gotten to witness the strength and bravery of my wife, freeing herself of her past. There has been speculation online surrounding how it must feel for me to sit there and listen to my wife's testimony. I have felt so many things sitting there. I have felt tremendous pride and overwhelming love for Cass. I have felt profound anger that she has been subjected to sitting in front of a person who tried to break her. So, to him and all of those who helped him along the way, please know this: you did not. You did not break her spirit nor her smile that lights up every room. You did not break the souls of a mother who gives the best hugs and plays the silliest games with our little girls. You did not break the woman who has made me a better man. I did not save Cassie, as some have said. To say that is an... Over the past 5 days,
he didn't say Cassie. Cassie said Cassie.
I did not save Cassie, as some have said. To say that is an insult to the years of painful work my wife has done to save herself. Cassie saved Cassie. She alone broke free from abuse, coercion, violence, and threats. She did the work of fighting the demons that only a demon himself could have done to her. All I have done is love her as she has loved me. Her life is now surrounded by love, laughter, and our family. This horrific chapter is forever put behind us, and we will not be making additional statements. We appreciate all of the love and support we have received, and we ask that you respect our privacy as we welcome our son into a world that is now safer because of his mom. I did not save Cassie, as some...
So Cassie's having a boy.
Over the past...
That's what we learned. Cassie's having a boy. Because prior to his statement, I didn't know what Cassie was having. She has already 2 girls. Now she's about to have a boy. So well wishes on the pregnancy and the birth, having a healthy child. I couldn't imagine her being on stand and testifying she got somebody else's baby in her stomach and she got to sit there and talk about text messaging to her ex-boyfriend and him putting hands on her. Real talk. For some men, that's like, she was a woman. It wasn't man on man. She was a woman, young girl. He was older than her. He was controlling. She stayed, though. She went back and forth though, but they would also send people to go get her, and they would dangle her career in her face. He kept her busy in regards to the studio. The one thing I would want to know, you guys, have you guys heard this? I'm wondering who paid for her studio time. I'm wondering if it was him. He paid for her studio time, making her think this is going to be released, that's going to be released. Now, when Cassie was with her first management and producer, didn't she release something? But then when she got with Diddy, I don't think anything was really released. She did a movie, but that was them seeking her out in regards to the movie. But other than that, we don't have a huge catalog of Cassie's music. Writers and people were working with her, but we don't have a huge catalog of Cassie's music. Real talk. Gorgeous girl, smart girl. And she did go into rehab in regards to certain different things. And then they tried to trip her up. Well, the rehab also has this and they have that and this and that. And then they had said, well, Cassie, once you got your money from Diddy, you were planning on going on tour, but then you decided to cancel the tour. Yes, her information about Diddy was released. I wouldn't want to go on tour. I wouldn't want to go on tour after all that information had to be released. Maybe she didn't know how she would feel after that information was being released. I would have canceled the tour too. I'm wondering if she took a hit by canceling that tour. Hi, good morning, good morning. You guys, please, let's get the likes up. We've had about 5,000 people in the building. If you're watching from a phone, press 1 and please hit the like button. Let's get the likes up to 200. We got about 569 in the building. Please hit the like button. Just double tap that screen, please. Double tap the screen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So let's get to some clips. I like to, bring in what the news is saying. Let's get through some clips. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. And don't forget to subscribe. Let's try and hit 37K this month. Let's try and hit 37K this month. So thank you all that have subscribed. We did hit 36K, I want to say yesterday. We hit 36K yesterday. Like I said, my page had only, a few thousand. So let's get to...
or anything like that. Obviously, early on in the testimony, there were some things that had her in tears. But today, she's been very calm, very measured, especially considering the audio clip that we heard of her threatening to kill someone. Box because I was wanting to hear their reaction as we're hearing in real time.
So what had happened was, some people are trying to make it seem like she threatened. No. There was a guy that was allegedly had video clip of Cass, and they were trying to talk about it in the street. So Cassie found out about that, and she was not happy with the guy, stating he had a video of her. Yeah, he had a video of her. So Cassie was not happy about that. Now, some people would say, I would react similar. Some people would say that she was so concerned about her career because the career wasn't taking off, like we just said, wasn't taking off like she wanted.
Her voice threatening several times to kill someone because she's concerned about this freak-off video, and the jurors were shocked. I saw the eyebrows raised. I saw them listening, and I think to hear her voice in court and see how calm and measured she is, and then to hear that side of her. Again, it was in 2014 that this audio clip was something that she recorded, but clearly she's threatening someone who she thinks might release a freak-off video, and she's worried about it.
And the person that she was threatening was one of Diddy's associates.
Correct.
Okay. So you saw the jurors' reactions to that audio tape. What was Diddy's reaction? What was Cassie's own reaction when she heard her audio?
We're doing audio in regards to what happened on the trial for the last few days. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
She just kind of looked down. I mean, she wasn't... And it was hard for me. I had to literally, I have a great shot of the jury in terms of where I'm sitting. I can see Sean Combs. I have to sort of raise up to look at Cassie Ventura, but she seems to be very calm. I mean, I think she knows that some of this evidence was going to come out.
Right.
So she's answering the questions, yes, no. When she doesn't remember something, she's very clear about that. But the prosecution, the defense has been trying to poke some holes into the testimony she gave about the alleged rape that she said took place toward the end of their relationship.
How are they trying to poke holes in that alleged rape that took place?
The timeline. They're looking at the timeline. They're asking her questions. Well, was it this time or that time? They're also looking at around that same time she was still talking to or dating, as she says, her now husband, Alex Fine. So they're trying to really, in many ways, I think what they're trying to do is question her credibility.
So Cassie was asked about receiving a FaceTime from her now husband while she was having with Diddy. Is that again the case of the defense trying to poke holes in her story?
I think that's where it goes back to how much can we trust this person, because they're entering evidence with phone records and different things to show, well, you were with this person at this time, or you sent that message, but yet you were dating this person. This is about a criminal enterprise, and there are several elements to that don't necessarily speak to if she was in bed with Diddy or if she was FaceTiming her now husband. So I think they're trying to use what they can, again, to discredit her overall as a witness. This is also about beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right. Diddy's personality, his temper has come up, and today his own defense lawyer said, could it have been his bipolar disorder? What was the reaction in the court?
Right. So again, this is a moment where the prosecution is asking Ventura about testimony that she gave. I didn't see a reaction, so to speak, from the jurors necessarily when this issue came up. But again, it speaks to these mood swings that they've been talking about that he has, that Ventura has said 1 minute he could be nice and he could be kind, but with the drugs and with the...
Like the video. Please subscribe, you guys. There's about 521 in the building. Please subscribe and turn on your notification bell. If you're new, press 3 and where you're watching from. If you're new, press 3 and where you're watching from. Press 5, you've been here before, where you're watching from. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Alcohol, it was a completely different person.
The prosecutors are hoping that Cassie's testimony wraps up today. They're afraid she's going to go into labor over the weekend. What are you hearing inside of the courtroom and rumblings as to whether or not she will be wrapped up today, and what would happen if she doesn't finish her testimony? What would happen to the case?
To watch someone who is that far along in their pregnancy breathe, kind of take their time, ask for breaks, it's not shocking that they want to get her off the stand so she can focus on having her third child.
Even more text messages are being revealed today, and one text message in particular, Cassie writes, "I'm lost without you."
Hello, India.
How damaging was that text message?
Honestly, Rachel, there have been several text messages where she shows that she wants to be with Sean Combs for the rest of her life. We know now that she called herself Cece for Cassie Combs. We know now that she wanted to have a child with him. She saw herself as a wife. So to say those things at this point is not that surprising, but even the defense ended their argument with a text message from 2012, which appears to show Combs saying, "I want to do our last freak off." And then she says something to the effect of, "I don't want it to be our last freak off. I want it to be the first for the rest of my life." That's what she said. But what was so interesting is on redirect, the prosecution showed the context of that text, where she then says, "I don't want to do freak offs anymore."
Did y'all catch that? Because some people did not catch that yesterday. Good morning, California. I told y'all they tried to trip her up, and what's in the media, they didn't correct it. Let's listen to what she said.
Was that text message?
Honestly, Rachel, there have been several text messages where she shows that she wants to be with Sean Combs for the rest of her life. We know now that she called herself Cece for Cassie Combs. We know now that she wanted to have a child with him. She saw herself as a wife. So to say those things at this point is not that surprising. But even the defense ended their argument with a text message from 2012, which appears to show Combs saying, "I want to do our last freak off." And then she says something to the effect of, "I don't want it to be our last freak off. I want it to be the first for the rest of my life." That's what she said. But what was so interesting is on redirect, the prosecution showed the context of that text, where she then says, "I don't want to do freak offs anymore."
Yep, she says she don't want to do it no more.
It is, and I think you could feel that energy in the courtroom, right? Because I looked over at one of my colleagues and I like, did I write this down correctly? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, but that's sort of what makes this case so interesting, because you have someone who was in this long-term committed relationship, and they say they had breaks at times, but 11 years is not something to sneeze at, and that was a long time that they were together. But it was complicated, it's complex. But Cassie Ventura maintains throughout that she really didn't want to do these freak offs, that she just wanted to be with Sean Combs.
And to please him. She wanted to please him. Sad but true. And then after she was with Alex, it was kind of like he was like, "I miss you." And she was kind of like, "I miss you too." I'm surprised she said that. I'm surprised there wasn't more messages in regards to, "I don't like the physical. I don't like how you in front of people, go off on me." I'm surprised it wasn't more of that. And maybe they didn't show those messages, because you got to remember, these were older phones from Cassie. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Please like the video, you guys. Please double tap the screen. If you're watching from a phone, double tap the screen, please. If you're watching from a phone, press 1. Please double tap the screen. Please, let's get the likes to 200. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
What might we expect to hear from her testimony?
Yeah, Don Richard was famously in that making a band that was created.
We're about to listen to what happened in regards to Dawn.
By Combs, and she filed a lawsuit last year, civil suit, saying that she was physically and emotionally abused.
Wow. More explosive testimony to come.
Absolutely. The book.
Oh, yes.
So
Tell me about the book.
The book.
Oh, yes.
So
tell me about the book.
something else that I thought was interesting is sort of this timeline that the defense laid out. And they showed that Combs and Cassie Ventura had been in contact with each other via text in 2020. This is around the time she had just had her first child. He's congratulating her and saying Frankie's beautiful, so using her daughter's name. And it seemed like they were both sort of having this exchange of sending love and sending light, and I hope your family's well. And one of the last texts Cassie Ventura sent was something to the effect of, I hope one day we'll have an opportunity to talk soon. The defense said, and you never got that opportunity, did you? That was in 2020. Then they built up the case and said, oh, by the way, in October of 2023, you moved back home. Is that correct? And she said, well, yeah, I moved back with my parents. You guys have a modest home, your family home where you grew up. And she said, excuse me, she said, yeah, you know, modest home. So they reiterated, so your mother, your father, your husband, and your two children moved back to Connecticut to move to LA. She talks about, yeah, we were transitioning. We wanted to come to the East Coast. Then they said, where was your financial income? Where was the money coming from? Your husband was a physical trainer. That's correct. She answers the question, yes, he was a physical trainer. They're getting to this idea that money was tight around this time. She moves back home. She's not necessarily feeding into that narrative on the stand.
Well, the biggest thing is, how was money tight if she was trying to plan a tour? Diddy wasn't the producer anymore. It's expensive to create a tour. So I'm surprised they didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? If she was about to have a tour, that's not cheap. Hello? And then being around her mom, her dad, I would imagine too, with two kids and she's pregnant, why not be around her family? Let's continue. And if they knew that they were going to trial, she needed to be around her family. Let's continue. Fair use, reaction clip.
But then they go to that November 2023, a settlement is filed in which she winds up getting $20 million. We learned that the book that she wanted to offer the rights to Sean Combs for $30 million, she called it The Dark Times. For anyone who's been following this story, many of us know that in 2022, Sean Combs at the BET Awards literally shouted out Cassie and said, thank you for holding me down during the dark times.
Y'all remember that?
Wow.
Yeah.
What a twist. That is wild.
So maybe when he thanked Cassie, y'all remember that when he was on stage at the awards and he thanked Cassie, maybe that sparked something in her and triggered her. Let's continue. Fair use.
Again, it's all about them trying to create this narrative that money was down. She never got the opportunity to have this sit down that she wanted. But to show that things were apparently all good in 2020, almost 2 years after they split up, they're sending each other light and love. And now here we are, 2025. And not only was...
Would you be sending messages light and love to your ex? I wouldn't. But I think that people talk to Diddy in a certain way. And if you disrespected him, it could be problematic. I think he put fear in people for them to talk to him a certain way. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before where you're watching from. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Let's continue. Fair use, reaction clip.
Your civil settlement. Now you've got someone facing criminal.
I'm glad she got the money too.
Interesting that when asked if she hates...
Because her career never took off with Diddy. Real talk. She should be as big as... Who do you think she should be as big as? Y'all tell me. She should be as big as who? Let's continue. Fair use, reaction clip.
Diddy.
She said, I never hated him.
And still to this day
doesn't hate him to this day. Yeah.
No one.
Not to parse out.
Like the video, like the video. Hello. Good morning, Virginia. Good morning, Virginia. Let's get to the next clip. Fair use, reaction clip. Okay, let's see. Thanks for being here, everyone. Continue to hit the like button, you guys. Let's get to 200. There's about 431 in the building. If everyone double tap that screen, it'll be great. There's about 431 in the building. If everyone double tap the screen and subscribe, that'll be great. Okay, the next video, hold on one second. Like the video, like the video. Thanks for supporting the channel, you guys. Thanks for being here with me this morning. At first, I was debating whether to do a live, but I kind of wanted to catch people up in regards to what happened at court when Cassie got off the stand. So I'm kind of glad I did. And, she's having a boy and that the mom might be, on the stand next week. So there was stuff I didn't realize this morning myself. So we're listening and learning together. Let's continue. Fair use.
Back on the stand in Sean Diddy Combs' federal sex trafficking trial. This morning, the rap mogul's defense team cross-examined a male escort who testified yesterday in graphic detail about several violent and sexually explicit encounters with Combs and his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Ventura is now on the stand, although we do have a warning. The details in this particular...
Let me go back. Hold on one second. That wasn't the one I wanted. Hold on one second. Like the video as you guys come in. Like the video as you guys come in. Fair use reaction clip. Fair use reaction clip. Like the video. Like the video. Like the video. Like the video. Hold on one second. Yeah, they showed that, of course, Cassie husband leaving each time, leaving the courthouse. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. Hold on. Let's see. Cassie. Okay. Like the video as you guys come in.
Of harrowing testimony the night before, defense lawyers continued to try to poke holes in her account that Combs was an abusive partner who forced her into drug-fueled sexual encounters over and over again. The issue of consent and coercion came up, and for the most part, Cassie kept her composure on the witness stand.
She has shown such great courage and bravery for stepping forward, and she has now testified throughout this entire week.
Next up, singer Dawn Richard, who testified today that she saw Combs attack Cassie, hitting her in the head with a frying pan.
Like the video, like the video.
And tonight was the final day on the stand for Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, the star witness in his sex trafficking and racketeering trial, with the defense wrapping up its cross-examination and Combs' lawyers continuing to try to paint Cassie as a willing participant in these so-called freak-offs. The last text they presented from Cassie was this one from 2012 that said, "I don't want to freak off for the last time. I want it to be the first time for the rest of our lives." Here's a statement from Cassie that her lawyer read after court.
After.
This week has been extremely challenging, but also...
But did y'all see that he didn't read the rest of the message, just like we just told y'all? She said she didn't want to do it anymore. So a lot of mixed information is being told wrong, you guys. I'm glad I'm here this morning to clear it up.
remarkably empowering and healing for me. I hope that my testimony has given strength and a voice to other survivors and can help others who have suffered to speak up and also heal from abuse and fear. For me, the more I heal, the more I can remember. And the more I can remember...
Who a lie? We just heard it. We just heard it. Who lying? Ain't nobody lying. They must be talking to somebody else. They ain't talking to me. Let me go back. I'm going to show y'all. Like the video, fair use reaction clip.
Our last freak off. And then she says something to the effect of, I don't want it to be our last freak off. I want it to be the first for the rest of my life. That's what she said. But what was so interesting is on redirect, the prosecution showed the context of that text where she then says, I don't want to do freak offs anymore.
So they didn't finish reading the message.
It is. And I think you could feel that ended their argument with a text message from 2012, which appears to show Combs saying, I want to do our last freak off. And then she says something to the effect of, I don't want it to be our last freak off. I want it to be the first for the rest of my life. That's what she said. But what was so interesting is on redirect, the prosecution showed the context of that text where she then says, I don't want to do freak offs anymore.
That's a head spin right there.
It is. And I think you could feel that energy in the courtroom.
Right.
Because what's being reported, they didn't finish reading the message. That's what I'm telling y'all. Exactly. Okay. Hold on one second. Like the video, like the video. All right. Let's get to it.
Ann Combs trying to cast doubt on her claims that she was coerced into so-called freak-offs. Combs denied all allegations against him, and his attorneys are now trying to portray Ventura as a willing participant in what they describe as his swingers lifestyle. One message from Ventura reads, I'm always ready to freak off. In another, she writes, the freak-offs felt right. I'm Kennedy Walker, and I'll walk you through what happened in court, what's next, and how these messages could impact both sides of this explosive legal battle. Cassie Ventura was back on the stand Friday in the federal racketeering and sex trafficking case against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The defense trying to paint the picture of a complicated but consensual relationship between the two. Ventura testified that Combs beat her and coerced her into having sex with male escorts, sometimes on camera. But Combs' attorneys are pushing back, arguing that Ventura wanted to participate and enjoyed them. According to court transcripts obtained by Law and Crime, in a 2009 exchange, nearly...
Like the video, fair use. You got to realize she was on stuff, y'all. Real talk. She was on stuff, and so was he. Y'all notice how his face has changed and how he has the dark circles. Now they're saying he has gray hair and he can dye his hair, allegedly, is what we're finding out. But yeah, that time in jail is making him look older. But have y'all noticed how his face is getting elongated? Like the video, like the video. Let's get the likes up, you guys. If you're watching from a phone, press 1. Double tap the screen for me, guys. If you're watching from a phone, press 1. Please double tap the screen. Thank you, thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
2 years into their relationship, Combs texted.
Hold on. Yeah, fair use reaction clip. Please subscribe and please double tap the screen to hit the like. Thank you. Hit the like. Double tap the screen. Thank you. Thank you. Double tap the screen. Be kind in the comments because YouTube will time you out. That's not even me, whoever you are. Be kind in the comments. And like I said in every video, he's innocent till proven guilty. I don't have a stake in it. He's innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. I will not be making the decision. The judge and jury will.
I ring in. I just picked it up. I'm always ready to freak off. LOL. Combs wrote, "You tell me the day, you choose." Ventura responded, "It can be whenever." He answered, "Name the night." 4 years later in 2013.
And don't forget, there's a lot of messages like that. But towards the end, they cleared it up. There was a lot of messages like that in the beginning. But towards the end, she didn't want to do it no more.
Ventura messaged Combs saying, "Wish we could have FO'd before you left," using the initials for freak off. And in 2017, she texted him again saying she, quote, loved their freak offs. In another exchange, Combs wrote, "I want a freak off right now, LOL. Ventura replied, "LOL, me too. Well, I want to have fun with you." Having Ventura read those messages out loud in court was most likely strategic. It's a key moment for the defense as they work to undermine her claims of coercion, because in this case, it all comes down to consent. For the jury to convict Combs on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, they must believe force and coercion were involved. The defense also arguing that if Ms. Ventura was ever hesitant to participate, it wasn't because she was forced, but because she was jealous and wanted more out of the relationship. The attorney asked, "You testified on direct that you were insanely jealous, right?" Ventura responded, "I did say that, yeah." The attorney asked, "And you reacted when you saw social media posts of Mr. Combs with other women, right?" Ventura responded, "Yeah." Combs' attorney also brought up Ventura's past comments about Diddy's longtime partner, Kim Porter, who is the mother of 3.
Let's be real about something. She was jealous, right? There was a lot of jealousy. But did Cassie do anything to people in regards to the jealousy? She got mad about the tape. But did Cassie do anything to girls in regards to them spending time with Diddy? No, we didn't hear none of that. But it's being alleged Diddy did things. Alleged. They're going to have to decide that in court. Alleged what's being reported about Kid Cudi. Alleged what's happened in regards to Michael B. Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So Cassie had jealousy, but she never reacted on the jealousy. But it's being alleged he did. Are y'all catching the play? Watch the play. You got to watch the play. And what I mean by that is how he acted was different in situation than how she acted. He put fear in people, period. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
His children. Ventura admitted that she used to resent Diddy spending holidays with his family and Porter instead of her.
Yeah.
Ventura wrote to Combs, "I understand you feeling like you need to protect your children, but after a while, for what? It's like, for what? They've never known you and Kemp to be together, unless there's something that I just don't know about. They were babies when we started dating. If Chance can go away with her dad and not her mom, I think the other kids can too. The more time that goes by, the harder it is to understand." During the first week of trial, the defense also brought up.
She says she don't hate him. I'm surprised. Certain people that's gone through so much trauma, and maybe she feels he did what he did because he was under the substances, but I'm surprised she don't dislike him. And maybe they wanted her to say that on the stand she disliked him, and maybe because of the dislike, that's why she got the lawsuit. There's certain things she did, and she did it for a reason. Like the video. Fair use reaction clip. Yeah, she has a good heart. Certain things she said, I don't know if I could said it the way she said it. I don't know if I could say it or be the way she was. She was controlling. She was very kind, very considerate. But you know what? When they cross-examined, if they played in her face, Cassie was like, "No, that's not what I'm saying." Cassie was sticking up for herself on the cross-examine, which is good. She needed to. She needed to stand up to those attorneys, his attorneys. But also, y'all, Did y'all know that Diddy was passing notes to the lawyer of how to get her, how to say certain things to her, how to trip her up? Yeah, he was writing notes about and I know that would probably bother Cassie. Diddy was writing notes on what to say sometimes to Cassie while she was on the stand. Yes. And Cassie still handled herself well. You know, and even towards the end, even though he was trying to trip her up, she basically said, I don't have no hate for him. Baby, I'd be mad. You trying to trip me up, sitting there, you the one that's in jail. He's the one in jail, not Cassie, y'all. Real talk. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Diddy's long history of drug abuse, trying to shift the narrative away from a man allegedly running a criminal operation and instead paint him as someone spiraling out of control from addiction. Ventura testified that Combs' addiction played a role in his mood swings, admitting that at one point he was hospitalized after overdosing.
Did y'all know that? Did y'all catch that, T? He overdosed as well, alleged. And it was alleged that she OD'd at one time too. And then after she alleged OD, they made her, I think that the shower was running on her. They made her get up and do a FO after that. What? She wasn't feeling well. She wasn't feeling well when she had concerns with her stomach. She had concerns in her mouth. They still made her do stuff. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Almost the entire duration of your relationship, you were both addicted to painkillers?
See?
Ventura responded, very close to it, yeah. The attorney asked, but periodically withdrawing and being affected by the withdrawal symptoms in your relationship, right? Ventura responded, yep. The attorney asked, and that was a big part of Mr. Combs' mood swings, right? Ventura responded, I don't know if it was a big part, but it was a part. The attorney asked, you understood that if he did not get his painkillers that he was relying on, that it would affect his mood, right? Ventura responds, yeah, anybody that's addicted to painkillers is like that. And joining me to talk more about this is federal trial attorney Alexis Rosenberg. Alexis, thank you so much for coming.
They both weren't well in the head. They both were on stuff, you guys, period. He would call her and say, you know, this person's available. And then she would say, this person's available. They both were on stuff. And then certain times he would put it in her face like, you can't be with me until you do this. Did y'all know that? And a grown woman craving a man that treats her this way. Because she was grown by then. He wanted her to want him and other people. She was not able to want somebody else. He didn't want her to want Kid Cudi. He didn't want her to want Michael B. Jordan. He wanted her to want him and other people. And whenever it was, when she wanted something, she would basically have to look to him for that. Attention, a hug, a kiss. You understand? So that was control. It was ill control. But she did break away until Alex came along. Like the video. Let's get the likes up, you guys. And don't forget to subscribe. There's about 522 in the building. If you could please subscribe and turn on your notification. We're trying to hit 37K. We're trying to hit 37K. Let's continue. So how she was treated was not right. And how he controlled a lot of stuff. Money, situations. If she didn't do what he asked, things would be taken away. Car, phone, all kinds of stuff. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
On today, let's just jump right in. How do you think the defense did, questioning Cassie for hours and hours and hours?
So, I mean, it's very trying. When they had her testify, obviously was very sensitive. They're having her read text messages. This is very personal, and coming from someone who had testified, before about what she was an abused woman and having to relive that. Under the circumstances and the fact she's so pregnant, I think she did very well.
Prosecution, they were arguing that, and Cassie testified to this, that she was abused, that she was raped, that she was coerced, essentially, and did not want to participate in these freak-offs. But after reading the text messages and that the defense brought up, it seemed like it was a different picture. They painted a different picture. How do you think the defense is doing to try to counter some of what Ms. Ventura said during that testimony?
The defense is doing a really good job at chipping away at it. I think that the defense is that basically, Diddy did abuse her. We have the video. I don't think they're countering that, and he had a public apology, as we know. But he's saying that abusing someone, domestic violence.
Okay, so let me give y'all some updates. It may be that Aubrey O'Day may not take the stand. She may not be testifying. Look how they already treated Dawn. It may be that Aubrey O'Day may not be testifying. Safari, remember Safari who dated Erica Mena? Safari said, if I was Cassie, I'd take the money and leave America. That's what he's saying. That's Safari. She breaks down in tears while being asked about the FOs. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. A lot going on in media, y'all. Cassie is in a new relationship, and think about it. We haven't heard Cassie or Alex is in the media, right? It seems like she has peace and love right now, right? But Diddy, his situation still continue. The situation with him and Young Miami, you know what I'm saying? The things that Young Miami was saying in interviews. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. So I'd rather be in a Cassie leaving situation than him now. He was dating Young Miami. I wonder who else was he dating outside of Young Miami? Who else was he dating? Let's continue. And will Young Miami take the stand? Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Is not Rico. She wasn't forced into it. And bringing out those different text messages where she was saying that, she was asking and saying that she liked these freak offs does support that it was not, she wasn't forced.
And it only takes one time to say, I'm not interested. I don't want to do it. No, I'm not interested. And she has said that in messages several times. Well, can I just be with you? I don't want to do that. She said that. She did.
Into doing it, that she actually enjoyed it. And the question is really, is the jury believing that? Because we do know battered woman syndrome, sometimes they do things that seem out of the ordinary in contra to what was really going on.
Right, and I was just about to ask that. Do you think that the jury is believing the defense, or do you think that they're taking the side of the prosecution? Because I feel like everyone is really leaning in to Cassie's every word the first couple of days when the prosecution was questioning her, listening to, her what she alleges is abuse, right? And then when they...
Today, let's paint with Fair, America's...
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. The whole situation is a lot. Yeah, back in the day, the swinger word was a lot, and it was out there. A lot of people were talking about the swing word, remember? And people were like, is this person a swing? Is this person a swing? Hollywood, Hollyweird. And he might have made her think that this is the way things are done. Now, was he like that with the other mothers of his children? How was he with other mothers of his children? Will they have to take the stand? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? R.I.P. to Kim Porter. What happened in regards to Kim? R.I.P. to Kim Porter. Did the other baby mamas have to do the same? And remember, he has a younger daughter. What happened regarding that? You know what I mean? Like the video, fair use reaction clip.
It and bringing out those different...
Let's get the likes up, you guys. There's about 335 in the building. If I could please get 335 people to double tap that screen. Please double tap that screen to hit the like button. And thank you. Thank you. Continue to hit the like button. Thank you. And please subscribe and turn on your notification. Let's continue. Fair use. Reaction clip.
Text messages where she was saying that, she was asking and saying that she liked these freak offs does support that it was not, she wasn't forced into doing it, that she actually enjoyed it. And the question is really, is the jury believing that? Because we do know battered woman syndrome, sometimes they do things that seem out of the ordinary in contra to what was really going on.
Right, and I was just about to ask that. Do you think that the jury is believing the defense, or do you think that they're taking the side of the prosecution? Because I feel like everyone is really leaning in to Cassie's every word the first couple of days when the prosecution was questioning her, listening to, what she alleges is abuse, right? And then when they saw those text messages, and Ms. Ventura said things like,
And y'all have to remember, Cassie's not the only one that's going to be testifying. More people are going to come in and testify about what they saw, what they heard, and the concerns. Well, his driver has to testify. Will his financial advisor have to testify? Watch that play. If his financial advisor has to testify, watch that play. We talked about it. Drivers, stylists. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
I always want to freak off. She said something along those lines, or, I wish I could freak off right now. Mr. Combs is asking her when she wants to do it, and she's saying whenever you want to. Just seeing those things, how do you think that
actually enjoyed it? And the question is really, is the jury believing that? Because we do know battered woman syndrome, sometimes they do things that seem out of the ordinary in contra to what was really going on.
Right, and I was just about to ask that. Do you think that the jury is believing the defense, or do you think that they're taking the side of the prosecution? Because I feel like everyone is really leaning in to Cassie's every word the first couple of days when the prosecution was questioning her, listening to, what she...
Yes, who do y'all think is going to have to take the stand? Next week and the week after. Who do you think is next to take the stand? We're allegedly hearing the mom might have to. Who do you think is next? Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Alleges as abuse, right? And then when they saw messages, she said something along those lines, or, you know, oh, I wish I could freak off right now. Mr. Combs is asking her when she wants to do it, and she's saying whenever you want to. Just seeing those things, how do you think that they're taking it?
Well, we'll see ultimately how they take it, but
be kind in the comments. I don't play over here. Don't be acting weird. Don't be acting weird. Be kind in the comments. I will time you out, and so will YouTube. You act weird, you'll get timed out. I don't play over here. Real talk. I'm a lady and I'm to be respected. I don't play. I stand up for myself. This is my channel. I'll say what I want. I'll do what I want. Be kind. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
You remember, for coercion, you can be consenting and then change. You know, you can change your position that you don't want to do that anymore. Number one. Number two, once we add drugs to the mix, you know, that really does support coercion. If you are drugging someone, that supports the fact that they weren't consenting at the time to what they were doing. So they really need, the defense needs to chip away and really go towards that she was consenting. But the prosecution needs to hammer down that, yeah, at one point she may have been consenting and she may, you know, she changed, or that she was just saying this. And I'm assuming they're going to have an expert that's going to come testify about, you know, the psychological aspects of being in this type of relationship. But she also said on the stand that she still has feelings for him. That it's not that she has a hatred towards him, even as she sits there today.
Which I'm surprised. Fair use reaction clip. I'm surprised she don't hate him. I'm very surprised. I am. Are you guys surprised she don't hate him? Are you guys surprised she don't hate him? Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before, where you're watching from. Fair use reaction clip.
To me was extremely surprising, because what we heard, which was testifying for the prosecution, I think I would personally have extreme hatred for him based on that testimony.
Well, what do you think that means? I guess, like how you said, we're waiting to hear just from an expert that can really touch on the psychology of it all. But the fact that
good morning, California. Good morning, Oregon.
Her, did allegedly rape her, did allegedly drug her, and participate in these freak-offs, and she doesn't hate them. What do you think that the expert will say to kind of combat that?
I think it would support the fact that someone who has been battered does have that push me, pull me, that you have a situation where, listen, somebody doesn't stay in a battered relationship because it is bad all 100% of the time. You know, there has been testimony that he can be very charming. He's a very charming person. It was like a switch. So there had to be some good times that were in those bad times. And it does seem to, the text messages do seem to support that as well. So I think that the testimony from the expert is going to say, yeah, there was this conflicted feeling, this conflicted relationship that was going on, and there was grooming that was done as well.
What do you think we can expect to happen next? I know the next witness that's supposed to take this stand is Dawn Richard, and she was in a former group that did.
Shop the latest shoes for the whole family at your local Famous Footwear or famous.com.
Fair use reaction clip. So what do y'all think? Who do y'all think is going to have to take the stand next? Who do y'all think is going to have to take the stand next? And also, press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from.
I think each person is going to get up, one of the victims, and talk about the same pattern and how they were either drugged and coerced. And the prosecution does need to do that. They need to show this coercion, because right now with her, because this was a long relationship she was in with him. This was over a decade. Now, the question that the jury is probably asking is, why stay? Why did you keep coming back? So then if we show the next person, and that cumulative is going to get us to the jury most likely being able to see that there was coercion.
And I just want to touch back on what you just said about Cassie.
Like I said before, he's innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. I'm not making no decision. I'm not a jury and I'm not the judge. You can call it what you want. This is a woman that was in a controlled relationship, period. Cassie's not the only one that's going to take the stand. Hello, Marilyn. They both were on stuff. This is a toxic, horrible relationship, period. Call it what you want. This is a toxic relationship, period. But he was a grown man dating a 19, 20-year-old girl. Real talk. And he dangled things in her face. Real talk. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Good morning, South Carolina.
I mean, it was 11 years. In the defense, they showed text messages from 2009, 2000.
We saw what happened when she tried to leave. We saw what happened when she got in that elevator, right or wrong. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
2013 to 2017, you know, really showing in each of these messages, showing her saying things that, you know, she did enjoy the freak offs. I'm still just trying to figure out, because it seemed like they laid down the foundation. While yes, it's true, like how you mentioned that she does have the right to change her mind and she does have the right to say no, how exactly just does the government prove that? Like, how do we know when she did say no, or how do we know when she did change her mind if they said that throughout the course of it?
In messages, she would say, no, I'd rather spend time with you. Yes, she went back. And times she went back, and in the elevator, you saw what happened when she tried to leave. And sometimes when she would leave, they would send people to go get her. Oh, this won't be released. This music you won't be able to go to this event. He would dangle things in front of her. If he didn't like how she handled things, he would take her car, her phone, her tablets. He would take stuff. No studio time. He would take stuff from her. So this was a bad relationship all around. Poor relationship all around. Period. Let's continue. Fair use. Toxic, so toxic. They're both adults and they made a decision. And thank goodness she moved on and she married somebody else. And she seems happy right now, right or wrong. She moved on and she's with somebody else. So thank goodness she got out of a bad situation. Let's continue.
The relationship, she kept saying yes.
I mean, they have to just put her test.
And if you think about it, he continued with the FOs outside of her. So who was he about to have an FO with when he was about to get arrested that day? The women with him made decisions. Yes, the women with him made decisions. He was about to have an FO the day before he got arrested, or the day of, or he was having FOs or whatever. Did y'all hear when I talked about when y'all came back in the building earlier today? We talked about when he got arrested, there was baby oil in the tub, and we covered what pictures was taken. There was pictures that was taken that it looked like he was getting ready for another FO. Oh yeah, y'all missed that? Okay, let's go back in. So in the beginning of my video, I talked about Cassie was off the stand. They brought in somebody that took pictures of his room the day he got arrested, and he was getting ready. There was cameras ready. There was substances there. There was about 5 alleged baby oils in the tub. There was baby oils in the room. Oh yeah. So when he got arrested, they came in and took pictures, and they showed that yesterday. So Cassie was off the stand. Somebody that took the pictures of his room spoke yesterday, and then Dawn spoke yesterday. Oh, y'all missed that? I'm sorry. Yeah. That's why I came live. A lot of people didn't catch what happened towards the end of trial yesterday. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Testimony. I mean, I think her testimony saying that, but it seems to me that her testimony wasn't very, very clear.
No, she doesn't send money to this channel. That's a lie. I'm not gonna keep putting up. I'm not gonna deal with the disrespect. I'm cooking here. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. It's a toxic relationship. Period. I said that. They both were on stuff. How would she be sending me money if I'm saying it was a toxic relationship? Are people crazy? Are y'all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? This dude was still having FOs after Cassie. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
I think the prosecution may have missed the mark a little bit with the coercion to make it very clear, and that's why you're asking this question right now, which is a very good question. How are you going to get the jury to say, okay, there was coercion, and when did the coercion start and end? And that's going to be a jury question, and that is really why you need that cumulative of the next witness saying, yes, I was drugged. The drugging is a very big element, because if you're drugged, that really goes towards the coercion, because how did you consent, especially if you didn't know you were being drugged? And we also have her testimony about the fact that she was raped that last time. So that we have that situation, which does seem like a very clear divide, because she said she ended the relationship.
Like the video. Men don't like when you stick up for yourself. I haven't even asked for a super chat. I haven't asked for anybody to do memberships. People are weird. Men like to control women. You can't control me on my page. Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Men like to control women. You can't control me over here. I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to do what I want. You click the button. Move on. I timed you out. Be kind in the comments.
Dropping the ball. I mean, the prosecution, they were the ones that handed the defense the text messages. How did they miss this? Or why didn't they bring it up, you know, when they were first just introducing Cassie or first had Cassie on the stand around? Why wouldn't they kind of just field some of this out and explain it before, you know, the defense questioned her?
I agree with you. I mean, one of the things that lawyers do, they have to turn over the text messages. They have to do that. It's part of their required discovery disclosures. But you are right. They should have lessened the blow by going ahead and front-ending it and saying, were these text messages, letting her explain them in context. Because now it seems the way it was presented, because they didn't disclose those on the front end, that they were trying to hide something, and now there's a smoking gun. And that really should have been done. They should have had her read some of those and say, yeah, and give some context and the ability to say, oh, yeah, but you don't know leading up. And she kind of got into this a little bit in her response, but leading up, you don't know what was going on ahead of time leading up to that, and why, for instance, maybe I was scared that he was going to, you know, get angry, so I was saying these things to put him in a good mood, or whatever it may have been the reason.
What does the prosecution have to do to win this case?
Well, they really, I mean, there's a couple different things. We have the RICO, but we also have, remember, the prostitution, the trafficking end of it. So if we have some testimony about a minor that's being trafficked across state lines, then we, you know, he could serve some pretty long time in prison for that. So there's a couple different things that they're floating around. For him to go to prison and being convicted, it's not just that RICO claim that we have. We have the trafficking claim as well. And there's been a lot of testimony related to that trafficking claim about that they were bringing the people in. But, you know, a lot of times she was also paying for those sex workers as well, meaning she was personally paying them.
Y'all got to realize Cassie is not the only one that's going to testify. They're going to show the inner workings in regards to other people around him. If there's other messages, hey, did you take care of this? Did you do this? This case just isn't about Cassie and Diddy. This case is just not about Cassie and Diddy. This case is about people working around him, being near him, by him. The people in regards to Dawn, and if the mom has to testify. This is just the beginning, you guys. People are acting like it's just based on Cassie. It's not. It's just not about Cassie. It's to show the inner workings of the people around him, near him, by him. Let's continue, fair use. And y'all can understand that he's innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. He's in jail, not Cassie. And then this is the biggest thing, what they're charging him with. That's why they're presenting things the way that they're presenting things. Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. You guys continue to hit the like button. There's about 426 in the building. If I can please get 300 people to please double tap that screen to hit the like. Double tap that screen to hit the like. If you're watching from a phone, double tap the screen, please. And also subscribe. Can I please get 400 people to please subscribe, and thank you. Let's hit 37K.
So there has to be testimony. Where was the money coming? Was it directed from him and all that, which gets into that enterprise.
The defense also brought up Sean Combs' drug addiction, right? And so they're trying to prove that, you know, he wasn't this mastermind the prosecutor is painting him out to be. Rather, he was just...
And in court, they said he has problems with substances. They said that. They said that. He has concerns with substances. Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Let's continue.
Suffering from, you know, this addiction. Do you think they're doing a good job in proving that?
No, but it's early on in the trial. I think that they're going to, on their case, obviously put on that he had this drug problem, and so he didn't necessarily know, or, you know, wasn't orchestrating what was going on. I think that's going to be a hard sell. I think at one point they were tossing around that they were going to, you know, do the defense of that, you know, he was this individual and people wanted to take him down because he was successful. So they've tossed around a couple different theories here. I think from the testimony, he did have a drug problem. I don't think that anybody's going to dispute that. But the fact that you have a drug problem is not a defense to doing criminal acts.
Absolutely. Like, having an alleged drug problem does not excuse rape or beating and assaults or any of that, correct?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. That's not a defense. You chose to take the drugs, whether you have a problem with it or not. That doesn't give you any right to go out and harm somebody else, rape somebody, like you said. Or
and have we ever heard that Cassie did these things to the person she dated prior to Diddy? Did we hear different things of Cassie doing this after Diddy? She got help and she's now off the substances. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Any other crime. That's not a defense. Now, would they at sentencing possibly take that into consideration in sentencing? Yeah, maybe they could take that at sentencing into consideration. But at this stage, that's not a consideration. I think that that's being floated to try to go at the RICO claim that it wasn't this organized enterprise that was doing this for the purpose of doing it. They're really trying to say that these are like consenting adults and that the issue that happened in the hotel and the allegations of abuse were domestic violence. Now remember, domestic violence, is horrible as it is, he's probably would end up, even if they proved all of the claims, he's not going to serve substantial jail time or prison time for domestic violence. Unfortunately, I mean,
like the video, and how can anybody say I'm biased? Look what the messages said that's on the screen. Cassie says she doesn't hate Diddy now. She has love for the past. What? How's that me supporting her? I'm surprised she's saying it. I'm surprised the text messages. They both were on substances. It was a toxic relationship. If I'm supporting her, I wouldn't be saying it was a toxic relationship. I wouldn't be saying it at all. Both of them were not well, period.
Going to put a
Weirdos.
Psychologist on the stand. What other legal experts could we potentially see in this trial?
Well, I mean, the psychologist is probably going to be only, and they may not put the psychologist on the stand. That's only whether they think that and I don't know if there's a psychologist actually on the list, because really for the RICO, they don't need the psychologist. So the psychologist would only go if they feel like, say, and they're not going to be able to do it if they hadn't already disclosed it and it wasn't on the list to start with, but would go towards her reaction to counter those text messages. But remember, we've got all these other witnesses. It's cumulative because it's a pattern. It's multiple acts for a racketeer.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Please don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to hit 37K. If all 300 please subscribe, thank you. Like the video, fair use. Please continue to hit the like button. Double tap the screen, hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before, where you're watching from. Thanks for tuning in.
It's an enterprise for them doing it. So just because you have the witnesses that we've already heard, that we don't need to necessarily know their motive. I think they put her on the stand first because A, she's pregnant and she could go into labor at any time, but B, because that was the one that, in my opinion, started all of this, her doing that civil case. And we have the video. We have that video of her in that hotel room, in the hotel, that's, very shocking to show that the actual physical abuse. We need that extortion factor. That extortion factor about him making the videos and then threatening to release the videos if they don't do what they want him to have done, that is a really key factor. So if we keep having people, he kept the videos, and there's other text messages that he said, if I didn't do this, or I told somebody this, that he was going to release the videos, that they could get a conviction just from that.
Right. And then how many years could he get just from the extortion piece?
He could get a lot of years because the extortion is a part of the RICO. So he could get a lot of years for that. But, the life is the trafficking with the minors, that's the life. So there has been, and I am not sure, I've heard different, philosophies or theories or, leaked information as to whether the prosecution plans on putting on any evidence related to the trafficking of the minors. So I'm not sure that if they're going to do that or they're not going to do that, but we're going to see. But if there was trafficking of minors, he can get life in prison for trafficking of minors.
Absolutely. Well, this is just week.
So let's see what happens regarding that. Hold on. What happened? Hold on. Okay. Let's see what happens, you guys. Like I said, there's going to be more people that's going to testify. It's just not Cassie. People are trying to make it just about Cassie. And people are trying to say, well, done. There's more to go. If they said this could go on for 2 months, this is only week 3. The jury and then Cassie's testimony.
or leaked information as to whether the prosecution plans on putting on any evidence related to the trafficking of the minors. So I'm not sure that if they're going to do that or they're not going to do that, but we're going to see. But if there was trafficking of minors, that's he can get life in prison for trafficking of minors.
Absolutely. Well, this is just week 1, and we have 6, 7, maybe even 8 more weeks to go. So this is something that we will for sure be following. Alexis, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Again, Sean Combs denies all allegations. For all of the Diddy trial coverage, you can watch.
So he's denying all allegations. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thanks for being here. Hold on. Like the videos, you guys come in. Like the videos, you guys come in.
Here we go.
Another day at court. My goodness. Is Diddy's defense getting to Cassie? How's her demeanor in court today?
To watch someone who is visibly pregnant sort of take deep breaths at times, she's keeping her cool. Honestly, she didn't cry or anything like that. Obviously, early on in the testimony, there were some things that had her in tears. But today, she's been very calm, very measured, especially considering the audio clip that we heard of her threatening to kill someone. I looked over at the jury box because I was wanting to hear their reaction as we're hearing in real time her voice threatening several times to kill someone because she's concerned about the freak-off video, and the jurors were shocked. I saw the eyebrows raised. I saw them listening, and I think to hear her voice in court and see how calm and measured she is, and then to hear that side of her. Again, it was in 2014 that this audio clip was something that she recorded, but clearly she's threatening someone who she thinks might release the freak-off video, and she's worried about it.
And the person that she was threatening was one of Diddy's associates.
Correct.
Okay. So you saw the jurors' reactions to that audio tape. What was Diddy's reaction? What was Cassie's own reaction when she heard her audio?
She just kind of looked down. I mean, she wasn't, and it was hard for me. I have a great shot of the jury in terms of where I'm sitting. I can see Sean Combs. I have to sort of raise up to look at Cassie Ventura, but she seems to be very calm. I mean, I think she knows that some of this evidence was going to come out. So she's answering the questions, yes, no. When she doesn't remember something, she's very clear about that. But the prosecution, the defense has been trying to poke some holes into the testimony she gave about the alleged rape that she said took place toward the end of their relationship.
How are they trying to poke holes in that alleged rape that took place?
The timeline. They're looking at the timeline. They're asking her questions. Well, was it this time or that time? They're also looking at around that same time she was still talking to or dating, as she says, her now husband, Alex Fine. So they're trying to really, in many ways, I think what they're trying to do is question her credibility.
So Cassie was asked about receiving a FaceTime from her now husband while she was having sex with him. Is that again the case of the defense trying to poke holes in her story?
I think that's where it goes back to how much can we trust this person, because they're entering evidence with phone records and different things to show, well, you were with this person at this time, or you sent that message, but yet you were dating this person. This is about a criminal enterprise, and there are several elements to that don't necessarily speak to if she was in bed with Diddy.
So not only are they going to question Diddy and his character, they're going to question and the character of people that's making a testimony. They're going to look back at your history, your messages. So be careful what messages y'all send with your boo, your bae, your husband. Be careful what you send. Like the video, fair use, reaction clip.
Or if she was FaceTiming her now husband. So I think they're trying to use what they can, again, to discredit her overall as a witness, because this is also about beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right. Diddy's personality, his temper has come up, and today his own defense lawyer said, could it have been his bipolar disorder? What was the reaction in the court?
Right. So again, this is a moment where the prosecution's asking Ventura about testimony that she gave. I didn't see a reaction, so to speak, from the jurors necessarily when this issue came up. But again, it speaks.
Did you guys know that they stated that Diddy had a bipolar disorder? I did a video on that, but did y'all know that? Like the video, fair use, reaction clip.
To these mood swings that they've been talking about that he has, that Ventura has said 1 minute he could be nice and he could be kind, but with the drugs and with the alcohol, it was a completely different person.
The prosecutors are hoping that Cassie's testimony wraps up today. They're afraid she's going to go into labor over the weekend. What are you hearing inside of the courtroom and rumblings as to, whether or not she will be wrapped up today?
And it's a good thing they wrapped up, because some people did not know. Cassie's about 8 or 9 months pregnant. She could go into labor at any time, period. She is handling this situation. This is a lie. Think about it. She, at 8 or 9 months, she probably want to have her feet up, watching TV, eating food. But instead, she's at the trial giving her side. And there's going to be more. There's going to be more people that's going to speak out. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
And what would happen if she doesn't finish her testimony? What would happen to the case?
To watch someone who is that far along in their pregnancy breathe, kind of take their time, ask for breaks. It's not shocking that they want to get her off the stand so she can focus on having her third child.
Even more text messages are being revealed today, and one text message in particular, Cassie writes, "I'm lost without you." How damaging was that text message?
Honestly, Rachel, there have been several text messages where she shows that she wants to be with Sean Combs for the rest of her life. We know now that she called herself CC for Cassie Combs. We know now that she wanted to have a child with him. She saw herself as a wife. So to say those things at this point is not that surprising. But even the defense ended their argument with a text message from 2012, which appears to show Combs saying, "I want to do our last freak off." And then she says something to the effect of, "I don't..."
Now listen, because people didn't catch this. Listen, Linda.
Text messages where she shows that she wants to be with Sean Combs for the rest of her life. We know now that she called herself CC for Cassie Combs. We know now that she wanted to have a child with him. She saw herself as a wife. So to say those things at this point is not that surprising. But even the defense ended their argument with a text message from 2012, which appears to show Combs saying, "I want to do our last freak off." And then she says something to the effect of, "I don't want it to be our last freak off. I want it to be the first for the rest of my life." That's what she said. But what was so interesting is on redirect, the prosecution showed the context of that text, where she then says, "I don't want to do freak offs anymore."
That's a head spin right there.
It is. And I think you could feel that energy in the courtroom.
Right.
Because I looked over at one of my colleagues and I like, did I write this down correctly?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they didn't finish reading the message, but the redirect finished reading the message. I told y'all they're going to try and trip up these people that's taking the stand. And if you're not on it and you're not witty and you're not smart, they will trip you up. So Cassie was on it. They had her read only a portion of the message, but then somebody else came and said, "Read the rest of it." And she's like, "Thank you. Let me read the rest of it." Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Like I said, a jury's going to have to decide any wrongdoing. He's innocent till proven guilty. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Please continue. Hit the like button, you guys. Let's get to 200 likes. Please double tap the screen. Press 1 if you're watching from a phone. Double tap the screen. Let's continue. Fair use.
I mean, but that's sort of what makes this case so interesting, because you have someone who was in this long-term committed relationship, and they say they had breaks at times, but 11 years is not something to sneeze at. And that was a long time that they were together, but it was complicated, it's complex. But Cassie Ventura maintains throughout that she really didn't want to do these freak-offs, that she just wanted to be with Sean Combs.
Shop the latest shoes for the whole
like
family.
The video, like
at
the
your
video.
local famous footwear.
Fair use. Like the video, like the video. I'm waiting for the ad to move forward.
Dawn Richard will be taking the stand. What might we expect to hear from her testimony?
Yeah, Dawn Richard was famously in that Making a Band that was created by Combs, and she filed a lawsuit last year, a civil suit, saying that she was physically and emotionally abused. Wow.
Let's go back.
Together, but
more explosive testimony to come.
Absolutely. The book.
Oh, yes.
So,
tell me about the book.
Something else that I thought was interesting is sort of this times throughout that she really didn't want to do these freak offs, that she just wanted to be with Sean Combs.
We're anticipating that on Monday, Dawn Richard will be taking the stand. What might we expect to hear from her testimony?
Yeah, Dawn Richard was famously in that Making a Band that was created by Combs, and she filed a lawsuit last year, a civil suit, saying that she was physically and emotionally abused.
Wow. More explosive testimony to come.
Absolutely. The book.
Oh, yes.
So,
tell me about the book.
The book. So Cassie wrote the book, and she contacted Diddy. Do you want to buy the rights? And then you got to remember, he was basically ignored. And then they settled the case within a 24-hour, 48-hour period. They settled it.
Something else that I thought was interesting is sort of this timeline that the defense laid out. And they showed that Combs and Cassie Ventura had been in contact with each other via text in 2020. This is around the time she had just had her first child. He's congratulating her and saying Frankie's beautiful, so using her daughter's name. And it seemed like they were both sort of having this exchange of sending love and sending light, and I hope your family's well. And one of the last texts Cassie Ventura sent was something to the effect of, I hope one day we'll have an opportunity to talk soon. The defense said, and you never got that opportunity, did you? That was in 2020. Then they built up the case and said, oh, by the way, in October of 2023, you moved back home, is that correct? And she said, well, yeah, I moved back with my parents. You guys have a modest home, your family home where you grew up. And she said, excuse me, she said, yeah, you know, modest home. So they reiterated, so your mother, your father, your husband, and your two children moved back to Connecticut to move to LA. She talks about, yeah, we were transitioning. We wanted to come to the East Coast. Then they said, where was your financial income? Where was the money coming from? Your husband was a physical trainer. That's correct. She answers the question, yes, he was a physical trainer. They're getting to this idea that money was tight around this time. She moves back home. She's not necessarily feeding into that narrative on the stand. But then they go to that November 2023, a settlement is filed in which she winds up getting $20 million, which we now know. But today we learned that the book that she wanted to offer the rights to Sean Combs for $30 million, she called it The Dark Times. For anyone who's been following this story, many of us know that in 2022, Sean Combs at the BET Awards literally shouted out Cassie and said, thank you for holding me down during
the dark times.
The dark times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Plot twist. That is wild.
But again, it's all about them trying to create this narrative that money was down. She never got the opportunity.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. And you got to realize, having a tour is not cheap, y'all. She decided not to do the tour. People aren't paying attention. Having a tour is not cheap. She canceled it. So I'm wondering if she was hit with fines and lawsuit regards to her canceling the tour. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Opportunity to have this sit down that she wanted, but to show that things were apparently all good in 2020, almost 2 years after they split up, they're sending each other light and love, and now here we are, 2025, and not only was there a civil settlement, now you've got someone facing criminal charges.
I also found it interesting that when asked if she hates Diddy,
she said, I never hated him.
And still to this day
Still doesn't hate him to this day, yeah. So
could y'all be cool with y'all ex if they put y'all through? Could y'all be cool with y'all ex if they did X, Y, Z? Could y'all be cool with their ex if they grabbed you and did certain things and make certain comments and put fear in you where you couldn't go to the police? You or your friends couldn't go to the police and allege a guy you were trying to kick it with? Could you be cool with him and be kind? I'd be going off. Forget him. I was trying to move on, date somebody else, and a car got, it was ignited. I have to watch what I say. Could you be cool? Here she is trying to date Michael B. Jordan. He didn't want her dating Michael B. Jordan. But y'all got to realize, Diddy dated Lori Harvey. So that might have been him trying to make Cassie jealous of him dating Lori Harvey. Did y'all catch that play? If Cassie was trying to date Michael B. Jordan or hang out as friends, Diddy then tried to hang out with Lori Harvey. And Steve Harvey was there for one of the dinners. So people need to know when somebody's toxic, rude, and what's going on in Hollywood. Cat Williams told y'all, people are going to be exposed in 2024. And they have been. If there's a dude that's out there that's toxic, a girl that's toxic, you need to know, right or wrong. I would want to know. I would want to know. Protect me from the BS. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Parse out.
Yeah, y'all. A lot going on. A lot going on in Hollywood. Chris Brown is in jail. Tory Lanez in jail. People are like, why was Chris even in the UK? You know, what's really going on? If you had a situationship there, why are you in the UK if you knew you had a situationship? If y'all did not know, I'm gonna just do a quick update. Justin Bieber's team is speaking out and broke his silence. Hold on. And Justin's had a lot going on. He seems stressed out. Go watch my shorts regarding Justin.
Resurfaced after the Bad Boys Records mogul was arrested and federally indicted in New York for charges including sex trafficking. Justin Bieber is standing with the alleged victims of Sean Diddy Combs, but says he is not a victim himself in a new statement from his spokesperson. In September 2024, an old video of Combs and Bieber resurfaced after the Bad Boys Records mogul was arrested and federally indicted in New York for charges including sex trafficking and racketeering. He has pleaded not guilty. In the video, a then 39-year-old Combs says he and the baby singer, who was 15 at the time, will be spending 48 hours together, doing things they can't really disclose. It's unclear what he means, but he adds that they're going to go full crazy. The clip, which many commenters labeled as disturbing.
That clip, in regards to him and Justin Bieber, were crazy. Why are you hanging out with a teenage boy? So certain things Diddy do is concerning. Real talk. Certain things he say and do is concerning. And people are saying he was just doing it for the gram. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. Fair use reaction clip. Continue to hit the like button, you guys. Let's get to 200 likes. If you're watching from a phone, press 1. If you're watching from a phone, press 1. Just double tap that screen for me and hit the like. And let's get to 37K. If I can please get 300 people to subscribe and turn on your notifications. And thank you.
That they're going to go full crazy. The clip, which many commenters labeled as disturbing, sparked rumors that the now 31-year-old Bieber might have been victimized by the disgraced producer. On May 15th, a rep for Justin put those rumors to rest in a statement. Although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. Recent erratic behavior has left some fans concerned about the Ghost singer's mental health. In an Instagram post on March 22nd, Bieber captioned a video of a jam session with an admission that he hates himself sometimes.
Thank you. Continue to press like. Continue to press like. Yeah, people are concerned about Justin. Go check out my shorts regarding Justin. On my short, I did a video in regards to Justin saying he don't have nothing to do with it. Also in regards to Justin financial situations. Also in regards to Justin selling his catalog. I did do a short on that. I want to say 1 or 2 days ago. Let's continue. Fair use. I don't know what that music is. They might be showing something. Let me go past that. Fair use reaction clip. Let's continue. Like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. Fair use. Hold on. Just updating you guys on what's being said, what's being talked about. A lot of times I go to the different YouTubers, I watch them at night, and then I listen to the news. The news is going to give it to us right.
I'm Eva Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. The defense getting their chance today to question Sean Diddy Combs' ex, Cassie Ventura. She spent 2 days telling the jury about how he forced her into drug-fueled freak-offs against her will with male prostitutes. Combs' defense now trying to paint a very different picture of their decade-long relationship. Cassie grilled about explicit text messages with Combs as the defense tried to show the jury the freak-offs were a defining feature of their relationship. This, as the judge told the defense to wrap this up by tomorrow because Cassie, who was 8.5 months pregnant, could go into labor any minute now. Combs faces the possibility of life in prison if convicted. He's pleaded not guilty and has denied all wrongdoing. We'll break down everything that happened in court today. We'll also get into the top searches on the web right now tied to the Diddy trial, like white nail polish and can Trump pardon Diddy? We'll answer those questions in a bit.
Remember, he liked the women to have white nail polish.
Let's go to Aaron Katursky, our chief investigative correspondent outside the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Aaron, Can you take us inside the courtroom? The defense is finally getting to question Cassie Ventura. What was this questioning like?
The questioning was very intense, although it was relatively gentle. But here was a woman who is a mother now, expecting her third child at any moment, with her husband in the courtroom, reading aloud the most personal and intimate text messages you could ever imagine being read in open court about the sex she desired, the orgasms she had, and what she wanted to do with her intimate partner at the time, Sean Combs. And this was, if embarrassing for her, she seemed kind of resigned to it because she read it in matter-of-fact, rather kind of calm, flat tone, and she never wavered, she never lost her composure.
I'm curious, Aaron, what was the reaction in the courtroom as she read those text messages?
Well, some of the jurors, one woman shook her head, but most of them appeared to lean in toward their screen so they could read along and follow along as some of the messages, maybe the less eye-popping ones, but nonetheless pointed toward the evidence, where she said, "I'm always ready to freak off. I love to F-O."
Yeah, there was times she sent it, and Cassie basically told the truth as much as she could on that stand. She didn't waver on stuff, because they would have caught her up, and they had the messages. So Cassie had to tell the truth. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
To freak off, because the idea on the defense side,
she said it and she admitted it,
that Cassie Ventura was not coerced into these sexual encounters with male prostitutes under threat of violence or humiliation the way prosecutors describe, but was a willing, even eager participant in the swingers lifestyle that they say Sean Combs led.
Aaron, there was also some pretty surprising testimony today about Combs's drug use, allegations that he was addicted to opiates and at one point overdosed. What did we learn?
Well, this was
noted in the comments. Did y'all know he OD'd? Did y'all know he OD'd? Noted in the comments, yes or no? Fair use reaction clip.
Part of the defense strategy to concede that he's a drug user. Now, maybe the public didn't know the extent, but the defense was pretty frank that at one point he was addicted to opiates. At one point he flew to Mexico to try what Cassie Ventura called a plant medicine type remedy that's not legal in the United States, that the two together tried just about every drug, MDMA, ecstasy, ketamine, that the night of the now infamous freak-off.
Don't say she's the only one. He was too. Because even after Cassie, he continued. Don't just say she was. Both of them were.
2016 in the Los Angeles Intercontinental Hotel, where an assault was then captured on video, that maybe Combs was high on a bad batch of MDMA. But the idea here, Eva, I think, was to say that the violence from Combs was not to coerce Cassie Ventura into sex. It was the result of drugs, or in another aspect, was the result of jealousy and her infidelity. Because we also heard today, Eva, about her dating Kid Cudi and about her dating
I had heard about that there was somebody that tried to release the tape, and she got mad. So I told y'all, both Diddy and Cassie's toxic, period. The relationship was toxic. And you got to realize Diddy was directing her. Don't let that man out your sight. Diddy was probably sending people to go assist and help Cassie. Because remember, Cassie was trying to have a good old time with her family and friends. And then all of a sudden, at the party for her brother, the guy mentioned he had a tape. And Cassie was like, what do you mean? I'm trying to have fun time with my family. What do you mean you have a tape of me? She called Diddy, and Diddy was like, don't let him out your sight. So Diddy was directing her on what to say, what to do, until probably he got her some help. Hello? Yeah. Both of them were toxic. Real talk, period. Let's continue. Fair use. Reaction clip. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before and where you're watching from. Thanks for being here, everyone. Continue to hit the like button, everyone. I appreciate you all.
actor Michael B. Jordan, and how that led to some pretty scary arguments, as Ventura put it, with Sean Combs.
Aaron, I also have to ask you, because the defense asked her today on the stand about drugs.
This is not her channel. Stop being weird. I think they came back. Stop being weird. We're saying both of them are toxic. How would this be their channel if both of them seem weird? Like the video as you guys come in. We can't have bots in here either. Like the video as you guys come in. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Baby oil. What did she say about that?
Oh, that was kind of a throwaway, and it just right before a break. But I think there's been some rumor about that there had been drugs in the baby oil, or the baby oil was tainted. But Cassie Ventura said that there were no drugs in the baby oil.
She said there was nothing in the baby oil, y'all.
During the course of her testimony, but drugs weren't apparently part of it.
Yeah, an internet rumor she dispelled there on the stand today. Aaron Kotursky, thank you so much there from the courthouse. Now let's break down some of the testimony from today's crime.
So that's the question. When he got arrested, he was about to have another FO. Who was about to join him? Who was he dating around the time he was about to go to jail? So that's the big question. He was about to have another FO. Who was he dating around that time? Let's continue. Fair use. There's about 433 in the building. If I can please get 400 people to please subscribe and thank you. If I can please get 400 people to please subscribe and thank you. And turn on your notifications. Let's continue. Fair use.
Cross-examination of Cassie Ventura with ABC News legal contributor and trial attorney Brian Buckmeyer. You were also in the courtroom there today.
I'm wondering.
So I'm curious to you, what was the standout moment?
Well, to narrow it down to just one is very difficult, so give me a chance to say two. Of course, those salacious text messages that everyone's talking about, details that are hard to get into, but I think not just the text messages, but the order in which they came about. The defense making the argument that Cassie and Combs had decided to have a freak-off some days in advance, and the days leading up to those are where those salacious text messages came in, making it seem like Cassie really wanted to participate in. But also, I didn't think I was going to wake up this morning and find myself having just an iota of sympathy for Combs, because in the end of the morning, the defense made it seem like these two might have been two addicts participating in sexual encounters, and that's where the violence came from.
Good morning, everyone.
Cassie testifying that she believed at some point in time Combs was an addict trying to get out of it, and that the withdrawal made him very irritable and angry at times.
And we also have to talk about the jealousy that she talked about there on the stand in their relationship. And Cassie's concerned about being a side piece, not the main girl. Tell us about that line of questioning.
So I think we're going to
be kind in the comments. We're relaying information. I don't like for people to act weird in my channel. Go somewhere else. Go on your channel. Talk about what you want to talk about. This is not Cassie's channel. We're saying both of them are toxic. What is wrong with people? See, people like to control people in their channels, and they like to take them off with weird stuff. You're timed out. Goodbye. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Did you guys know that Diddy, OD, did you guys know that he had the medical stuff he had going on? Did y'all know that he was bipolar? I didn't know. So this is an informational channel, and we debunk lies. Let's continue. Fair use. Press 3 if you know where you're watching from. Press 3 if you know where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before, where you're watching from. Who do you think is going to take the stand next? Let's continue.
Get there eventually when we get a broader sense of this, but don't forget Kim Porter, whose children and that she shares with Sean Combs are in the court. I think the argument that we're having here is we see text messages like this. I'm nervous that I'm just becoming the girlfriend that you get your fantasies off with, and that's it. I don't get that the other part, because Kim Porter is still in the scene. She is the quote-unquote main girl, and I think the argument here is that Cassie is indulging in these fantasies, hoping that if she keeps doing it, that Sean Combs will pick her. And the defense, I think, is making the argument that she's not getting the attention or the love that she wants. She's not becoming the main girl here. It's the jealousy that is fueling the violence, not the fact that Sean Combs is trafficking her. And then we start to see resemblance of that argument.
We heard Aaron Kotursky mention the defense referenced those text messages today. What stood out to you?
So again, in the text messages, I think the conversation about how
Florida
were a part of their conversations, how they talked about going out and having a good time, but also plan the freak-offs. And the freak-offs
Florida. Hello, NC.
Looking at the dates again, let's just go back to this message real quick. That's 2009, where she said she's nervous about just being a girl.
Yeah, chime in. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you know where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before, where you're watching from. Hello, Florida. Good morning, everyone. We're just doing an update of what's happened day 4 and day 5. Cassie did her testimony. Then they talked about the person that took the pictures in his hotel when he got arrested. And then Dawn was on the stand yesterday. Hello, Minnesota. Hello, Virginia. Don't forget to subscribe, you guys, and turn on your notification. Let's hit 37K. Hello, New York. Hello, Kentucky. Whoa. Yes, I went to Kentucky one time. Hello, South Africa. Welcome, welcome. Don't forget, you guys, we do have memberships over there. We do have memberships. Super chats are welcome. This is the first time I said super chats in 4 days. So my page, I do what I do for you guys. Super chats are welcome. There's memberships over there. Hello, Ohio. And YouTube takes a lot of our money. So a lot of YouTubers do this out of kindness of their heart. They do. I don't know what's going on. I don't get a lot of money. I do this out of the kindness of my heart. I was even on an appointment and I did a live for you guys. So super chats are welcome. Memberships are over there. Support the channel and subscribe. Like I said, my page went from 3,000 to 4,000 subscribers 9 months ago. We have almost 37K. Thank you for being here, everyone. Thanks for being here, everyone. Like the video, like the video. Fair use reaction clip. Super chats are welcome. Thank you. Support the channel.
Friend, and here's 2017, some years later, saying, I love the freak offs when we both wanted. It seems like the issue wasn't about freak offs or not freak offs, but that she wanted and enjoyed the freak offs where they had a freak off and then they had sexual relations afterwards, or vice
Hello,
versa.
Georgia. Hello, Arizona. Hello, Colorado.
Not just that the freak offs were bad altogether.
Not just something he wanted to do, something she wanted to participate in as well. The defense attorney has taken the lead here today in the questioning. Tell us about who this attorney is.
So, Anna Estefan, she is the defense attorney who is cross-examining Cassie Ventura. We see some of her positions. He's a
Hello, Canada. Welcome, welcome. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before, where you're watching from. And press 1 if you're watching from a phone. Press 1 if you're watching from a phone. And double tap the screen, please. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Double tap the screen if you're watching from a phone. Let's get the likes to 300. Thank you. Press 1, press 1. Double tap the screen. Thank you, thank you. I see the lights going up. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Continue to hit the like button. Thank you, thank you. I see the likes going up. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Let's get back to the video. Fair use reaction clip.
Partner of the firm, White Collar Defense, worked as a federal defender in California for a year. I think she graduated law school in 2015. And so
thank
I
you,
see a lot of criticism online about her
hit the like and hit subscribe. Thank you.
From a factual standpoint, yes, you may see a defense attorney meander in the way that they ask questions, meander in the way that they're trying to argue. But the issue that stood out to me is some of the difficulties that she had in terms of getting the evidence in front of the court. The judge helping her out, sometimes making mistakes. And another thing that I'll add a little color of the court, the amount of notes that were handed up to her from Combs, Kenny Garagos. At one point, it was just pink note after pink note after pink note. She had about 10 or so sitting next to her.
Wow.
And I noticed at some point, the pink notes ran out, and they started giving her yellow notes.
Wow.
There's just so much information to help her get along with this cross-examination. I think she's doing a good job of getting the facts, just getting there seems to be a little difficult.
Interesting. Ryan Buckmeyer, thank you so much for being with us today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
4 days of testimony and 1 day of cross-examination, which side?
Who do you guys think will also hit the stand next week and the week after? Who do you think is going to hit the stand? Do you think the driver, the chefs, the cooks, you know, his different business partners? Who do you think else is going to take the stand? What famous celebrity do you think is going to take the stand? What famous celebrity do you think is going to take the stand?
Side seems to have the leg up here. Our legal team is standing by. Also coming up, will Trump pardon Diddy? Why, that's one of the top searches about this trial. Stay with us.
Do y'all think he'll pardon Diddy?
It's employee pricing plus.
Do you think he should? Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Do you think he'll pardon Diddy? Or that's just something that people are putting out to change the narrative? Let's continue. Fair use.
In this case,
I think to some degree they are, but as I'm listening to this testimony and seeing this cross-examination, I don't think it's so much that they're punching holes. It's more so that they're creating a separate narrative altogether. And I don't think that they're actually winning so much, and I think that
Ooh, that's an interesting
prosecution
name.
isn't winning. Because they're creating a separate narrative that is reasonable, that does create doubt, and that's what a defense attorney does. I'm left after the morning, especially when I was sitting there in court and reading the transcript as we continue. Is this trafficking? Or is this two individuals who are addicted to drugs, violently and aggressively interacting with each other? Is this domestic violence or is this trafficking? I'm still having that question mark, but I don't think this witness is going to bring us all the way there. I think.
But people have to let this play out in court. Who else is going to have to testify against Diddy? People are not patient. That's crazy to me. You got to let everything play out in court. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Who else do you think is going to hit the stand? Let's continue. Fair use.
Still have to wait for the trial to continue.
Bernadette, you're sitting there as the prosecution watching this cross. You getting nervous?
Not at all, not at all. Because
Hello, Texas.
the defense attorney is falling flat in terms of the delivery, in terms of how she's questioning Cassie Ventura, in terms of the logic in her questioning. It's all over the place and it's very difficult to follow. So yes, the defense attorney knows.
Yesterday they said it was all over the place. So let's continue. Fair use. Reaction clip.
What all the text messages are, and the prosecution does as well. But
and then it got better after lunch. I need to make that clear. Let's continue.
Guess who needs to know? The jury does. So the way and the manner that's being delivered and the way that she's being questioned is falling flat. So as the prosecutor, I'm like, okay, what's your next question? Because you're also giving a lot of time for Cassie to think about whatever question that you're posing to her, which is not good for the defense.
And the prosecution's going to have a chance to clean all this up after.
Absolutely.
So
but it's not much to clean up, though. It's not much to clean up. The prosecutor is aware of these text messages because guess what? The prosecutor was the one who turned it over to the defense. So they're ready for it.
But I'll say this, though. I think the defense did a good job in the sense of, and again, this isn't the defense winning so much as the prosecution not so much. The prosecution gave us this much in terms of text message, and the defense got to have the opportunity, which I love doing when I'm a defense attorney, say, hey, it's their burden. They're supposed to prove this case, but they gave you 5% of this conversation. I'm the one who's giving you 100% of it. This is the real context of it. And I think when you read all these text messages, it made it seem like the prosecution was somewhat disingenuous and not giving them everything. So even if the government comes up and
even if the phones was broken, they were able to allegedly get into the different documents to retrieve. Cassie kept a lot of her phones and she turned over a lot of stuff, allegedly. Like the video, fair use. Very, very serious relationship. And like I said before, he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. A judge jury is going to have to decide if there's any wrongdoing. Be kind in the comments. YouTube will block your comment. Be kind in the comments. YouTube will block your comments. Let's continue. Fair use. Reaction clip.
I would still be like, well, you never gave us the whole thing to begin with.
But I have to disagree because what's coming out through the defense is that the defense is bringing the lovey-dovey part of the relationship, right? He's on trial, not for the lovey-dovey part. He's on trial for the criminal part. So the prosecutor came out with the criminal part having to deal with the text messages and with the testimony that makes this case a criminal case, not the lovey-dovey part. In fact, the prosecution can clean that out. Like, yes, I told you in opening that they had a complicated relationship. At times they loved each other. They probably loved each other during the entire relationship. But what we're here for is the criminal part,
right?
Which is the freak-offs that wasn't with her consent, which was the violence that was part of that coercion, that manipulation that put her in fear to unwillingly consent at times to these freak-offs.
Okay, we're going to also talk about kind of the other issue at hand here, which is that Cassie is 8.5 months pregnant. And the judge was very clear that he wants the defense to wrap this up because she might give birth any moment. Is that a problem for the defense?
I mean, it depends on how you want to operate. I'm not going to say that I have done this. I'm not going to say that people I know have done this. But if you know a witness is on
she's gorgeous.
They have to end their testimony.
She's gorgeous. A lot of these Hollywood men love to have a gorgeous woman on their arm for the carpet. A lot of these men, a lot of the women want to have a decent guy on her arm for a carpet. I try and be fair in regards to different situations. This was a toxic situation, period. This is a toxic situation, period. Like the video, fair use. There's about 400 people in the building. If I could please get 400 people to please subscribe and thank you. And turn on your notification bell. And if you've already subscribed, thank you and welcome. Let's continue. Fair use, reaction clip.
defense could be bumbling, dragging their feet to some degree, because if they finish their cross-examination late into Friday afternoon, it limits the amount of time that Bernardo is talking about to rehabilitate this witness, because if they end at 3 o'clock on Friday and they know they only have 2 hours to do a redirect, it hurts their opportunity to try to make their case better. So maybe there's some strategy that her having to leave at a certain time actually helps the defense.
So you think they're using the strategy?
I'm not saying that any defense attorney has ever done this, nor have I said that I have done this. I'm just saying, theoretically, it could be possible.
Okay, I have to ask you also, both of you, who do you think has the leg up here right now? Bernardo, you go first.
Well, we're still dealing with just the first main witness, right? So I can't say that anybody has the leg up that's going to carry out the entire trial. But I would say that based on the direct examination and the cross-examination so far, that the prosecution still has the leg up, because whatever little damage, minor damage that was done today, I think can still be explained. And you also...
Is this Andrew from 3 or 4 months ago? If so, say hello. Is this Andrew from 3 or 4 months ago? If so, say hello. Welcome, welcome. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before, where you're watching from. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Have the other witnesses have to testify, so...
I think at this point it's 50-50, and as a defense attorney, 50-50 means there's reasonable doubt, and that means the defense wins. But I do think this: Cassie is not the star witnesses that we all been talking about. She is the star victim. I don't think she would know herself if she was trafficked or abused, because she was so into this. I think what has to happen, the star witness, would be someone inside of Sean Combs' inner circle to say, yes, it wasn't a drug-fueled relationship. We all knew she was being trafficked. Combs told me this. This person knew it. That person knew it. She was just so wrapped in it, she didn't know she was being trafficked. So until that person comes and testifies and they get that information, I don't think we know who's winning this case so far.
As a prosecution, is that a hard, bridge to build?
No, not at all, because the prosecution, the government has the power. You decide who you're going to prosecute. You decide who you want to cut a deal with. You decide who you're going to want to bring in as a witness, who you want to compel as a witness, who you say, you know what, you committed a crime. I'm going to hold this against you unless you are willing to cooperate and come in and testify. So not concerned as a prosecutor, because you have the whole government behind you and resources as well. So while Diddy is a billionaire, was a billionaire, and does have a lot of money and wealth, can bring 8 firms in.
Yeah, could you imagine? All his money is going towards lawyers in this trial. He was a billionaire. I don't think he is now. He has a lot of lawyers. Which, do you blame him? His bail was denied several times. He is paying a lot in lawyer fees. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. There's about 418 in the building. If you guys can please subscribe and thank you. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
The government is the government and has pretty much unlimited resources to bring this prosecution, and they know that they can't fall flat, so they are giving it their all.
And there are still weeks ahead.
Someone got immunity. Someone's going to testify.
Have to.
We'll have to wait and see. Thank you both so much for being with us. And coming up, Michael B. Jordan. And what does white nail polish mean? 2 topics a lot of people are searching online when it comes to this Diddy trial.
Yeah, what does white nail polish mean? Educate me, y'all. And put it in the comments. White nail polish mean, and put it in the comments. Is that the thing that Diddy liked? And then, I don't know if y'all caught my short about 4 months ago. He would make some of the women wear a certain necklace. Did y'all catch that video when I did that 3 or 4 months ago? He would make his women wear a certain necklace. I saw Cassie had it, J-Lo had it, one of the baby mamas had it, and somebody else had that necklace. He would make them wear a certain necklace. What did that mean? Was he trying to tell the guys in the industry, this is my girl, and don't try and approach her? Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. What does the white nail polish mean? Can somebody note it before we play the clip? Let's continue.
We'll tell you why when we come back.
Come on, tell us now. Fair use. Hold on. I don't know if a commercial is going to come up. Hold on. Fair use reaction clip. See, I knew it. There's a commercial. Hold on. Like the video.
Welcome back. We are following the latest in the sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy trial of Sean Diddy Combs. But first, let's get you up to speed on some of the other big court cases happening right now. In Idaho today, a pretrial hearing for Brian Cope.
Nope, we want to hear about white nail polish. Let's continue. Fair use.
Some of the day's biggest searches tied to this case. Today's biggest search terms related to the trial include, will Trump pardon Diddy? And just to give you an idea of how interested people are in this case, take a look at this. People camping out in tents in the rain outside court for just a chance to get inside.
Wow.
Kelly Carter joins us now. She covers entertainment.
They are really camping out. They're in the single little campers.
And pop culture for us. Kelly, okay, so based on our ABC
Hi, good
web
morning,
search
good morning.
data, nearly all the people in the Diddy Cassie world mentioned during the trial have seen a bump in searches. So, like who?
Yeah, people are searching for names like Kim Porter, who obviously is a former partner.
R.I.P. to Kim Porter.
She is now deceased, but they shared 3 biological children together and a 4th one that they raised together. And also Michael B. Jordan, that came up initially in jury selection, but again in courtroom today because people are discovering that they potentially may have dated when they were filming a movie together briefly at some point. So people are searching, trying to see if there's anything that they can call from what was mentioned in court today with that name.
This next topic actually popped up 2 days in a row because it was up yesterday as well. Imprisoned Suge Knight says Trump will pardon Diddy if convicted, was widely searched. Then today, will Trump pardon Diddy?
Yeah, I want to remind people again that Suge Knight, of course, was a rival music mogul to Sean Combs. He ran.
Good morning. Good morning.
He was co-founder of that, while Combs was founder of Bad Boy Records, and they publicly beefed. And so he gave a prison side interview where he mentioned that he thinks that might happen should Sean be found guilty in this court of law.
This next search is interesting. What does white nail polish mean?
Yeah, people are obviously searching that because there's a lot of conversation about how Sean may have orchestrated every little bit of these freak-offs, and including what she wore, including what color her nails were, and he requested, according to her, that they were white. And so people are trying to discover, is there some hidden meaning? Of course, if you search that, you will see that it tells you what it always tells you about the color white, is that it means purity of some sort, but people are trying to see if there's some deeper meaning with that one as well, with that search.
Another question people are asking, who is Jonathan Odie?
Now, this one is interesting. Jonathan Odie was arrested a couple of years back for opening fire against some police officers in a Trump hotel in Miami. And he said at the time that he is a former adult film star who was hired to be Sean Combs' sex slave. No one really paid attention to that conversation, but his name came up in court this week as Cassie.
Yeah, if y'all did not know, Jonathan Odie did an interview. I want to either say Tuesday or Wednesday. Go look it up. Jonathan Odie's interview from jail. He did do an interview from jail. There was a page that was trying to say he was no longer here. He's here, and he is speaking out. Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Let's continue.
He identified him as one of these sex workers that they would hire. So apparently there may have been something to his claims a few years ago.
And this last question we heard.
It's too early for people to say that he could walk. It's so early. And like I said before, he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. A jury's going to have to decide if there's any wrongdoing, period. I can't call it. I'm not a juror. I'm not a judge. But people can say whatever they want. Like the video. There's about 447 in the building. Please subscribe and please turn on your notification bells. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
One of our legal contributors also referenced Diddy's worth. People want to know, what's Diddy's net worth?
Yeah, and I think that probably came up because, of course, we found out in court what that settlement fee was for that 2023 civil suit that Cassie filed against Sean and settled, within 24 hours. And then that amount was $20 million, which to all of us watching and even to those of us covering this trial is a large sum of money. And so people wanted to probably get an idea of how much of a hit that was to an empire that we knew at some point had grown.
Yeah, that's the nickname they gave him. Like the video. That's the new nickname they gave him. People were asking me the other day, That's the new nickname that they gave him. Now, I didn't give him that nickname. Like the video, fair use reaction clip.
To $1 billion enterprise, but probably is significantly less than hovering around maybe 300 million now, according to a couple of financial reports.
Kelly is up.
Yeah, so Cassie received the settlement from Diddy. It was 20 million. And then she had another lawsuit where she got 10 million. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Always, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. We'll be back with new episodes.
That was from ABC. Okay, you guys, I have some stuff I have to take care of. I have to deal with. I thank everyone for tuning in. Fair use reaction clip. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Don't forget to subscribe. We have memberships over there. If anyone wants to send in a super chat, the super chats are welcome. Let me know what you think about the trial. And you guys can say hello before I tune out. Press 3 where you're watching from. Press 3 where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before where you're watching from. Let's see if there was something else to cross-examine. Super chats are welcome. Super chats are welcome. A lot going on in the news. Chris Brown, allegedly his bond was denied. He's going to be in jail till June. Yep. Chris Brown's bond has been denied. He'll be in jail till June. People are speaking up and speaking out. I already did the Tory Lane situation. Hello, Washington, D.C. Welcome, welcome. Were you guys surprised that Cassie tried to date Michael B. Jordan? Hold on. Were you guys surprised that she tried to date Michael B. Jordan?
Today, the defense spent the day cross-examining ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, sharing private messages to try to prove she was a willing participant in their sexual encounters. Reporter Kimberly Richardson from our New York sister station has more from court today.
A relationship where jealousy, infidelity, and violence went both ways. That's how the defense sums up Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura's relationship. Today is Ventura's first day of cross-examination. The defense has thousands of messages the couple sent to each other. Many Ventura read out loud. Early on in their relationship, Ventura told Combs, quote, "I love you so much, it consumes my life."
We saw the bad and the ugly through the prosecution, but now the defense is showing the good parts.
Ventura testified things eventually went south. A central point of contention, she maintains, so-called freak-offs, sex and drug-fueled encounters that involved escorts. She insisted she did not want to take part, but defense attorney Ana Estevo introduced this exchange. Ventura, quote, "I'm always ready to freak off. Combs, I can't wait to watch you. I want you to get real hot." Me too. I just want to be uncontrollable. But when the defense tried to frame things a certain way, Ventura wasn't having it. She sent this message to Combs, quote, "I miss you. I miss our love-making sessions in the afternoons." When asked if that meant freak-offs, Ventura said not necessarily. Ventura testified even after this exchange in 2016, during what she says Combs hit her in the face, she tried to rekindle their romance.
She dealt with a lot of physical and mental, y'all. Real talk. She'll never be the same after this relationship. Who she was before dating him and who she is now.
There was one woman she believed was standing in her way, Kim Porter, the mother of 3 of Combs' kids who passed away.
R.I.P. to Kim Porter. Could you imagine Kim Porter's children being in that courtroom hearing what was done to Cassie? What was done to Cassie? R.I.P. to Kim Porter. Let's continue.
In 2018. This afternoon, Ventura told jurors she had some jealousy of Porter, adding she wanted to be integrated into his life with his kids, sending this message to Combs, quote, "I'm here, ready to be that woman, and I'm in a constant fight because you won't ever allow it. This isn't what I want. I cannot become that woman this way." In 2015, when Combs was dating a woman only named as Gina, Ventura began a relationship with actor Michael B. Jordan. Inside the courtroom, it was fascinating to watch. As Ventura testified, when she said certain things, Combs would whisper into his attorney's ear. The attorney would write something on a Post-it and then hand it right back to the attorney who was questioning Ventura.
Yeah, he didn't like that she was trying to date Michael B. Jordan. Anyone that's bigger, bolder, he didn't like that. He didn't like for her to be out of his grips. He could date and be with whomever he wanted, because he wasn't just with Cassie. Y'all got to think about that. He wasn't just with Cassie. He didn't start dating Cassie. Cassie was still with the boyfriend before Diddy. She was still with him for 3 years, 2 or 3 years. Then she dated Diddy. But they weren't, it seemed to be, they weren't exclusive. So who else was he doing FOs with? Alleged. Let's continue. I appreciate you all for being here. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Be safe. I don't wish this on any daughter, mother, aunt. I don't wish this on any guy to go through what is going through. This is a serious situation. Relationships can be toxic. If you're in a toxic situation, seek out help, seek out friends, family, seek out an agency, y'all. A lot's going on in Hollywood. A lot's going on with these celebrities. Real talk. A lot is going on, and it's the rise and fall. Just a few weeks ago, we were talking about this person, that person. Hollywood is something else. Some of them are giving it, and then it's alleged taken away. Be careful who you surround yourself with. Look at the Tory Lanez situation. So a lot is going on in the media. I go live and I talk about Diddy, but I also do shorts in regards to other topics. So we're just not only focused on Diddy. I do other topics in regards to my shorts. So check out my shorts, like the video, subscribe, turn on your notification, and everyone, focus on healthy, safe relationship. Be around people that love you, appreciate you. Don't just be a giver and people are just taking and taking and taking. It can drain you. So be well, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good time. Have a lot of laughter. Will some of the people that's in the courtroom listening to the testimony, are some of these people going to need counseling? Are some of these people going to need counseling? I'm hearing a lot of people are kind of getting emotional. I get it. Man, take care of yourself mentally. Mental wellness is important. Everyone, be kind. I thank everyone for being here with me. We've been live for 2 hours and 24 minutes. There's about 366 in the building. If all 300, please subscribe. We will definitely, oh my goodness, good morning, Paris. I was just about to hit the button. Everyone, Paris has been my day one from the beginning. She has been with me when we had 3,000 subscribers. Paris, we hit 36K this week. Thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Be blessed. Be kind. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Have a great weekend, y'all. Bye. Bye, Paris. Have a great weekend.